All right. Um, post comment. All right. Let's see who rolls in. I had to jump off and just go jump up and down because I feel I nailed that a little bit, even though no one's in here to hear me talk yet. But that was awesome. What's up, Dosa? How's it going? Yeah, I can't wipe the smile off my face. Just had the conversation with Austin in the back room. He's going to get Billy to come on, and like he like enjoyed that interview. I mean, said I had great questions. Like I got Austin's support, and like that that's big for me. I mean, come on. Yeah. I nailed it. I was so nervous, guys. Like seriously, I was really nervous at the start. But there is the links in the chat for anyone that wants to come up. I'll keep posting it periodically, but I was really nervous, guys. But I did it. I just took a deep breath and persevered. Just keep going. I mean, I'm just, an example of trying to get out there and don't give up. Just keep going, guys. Like seriously, just keep going. 217 Python, thanks for coming in. Bosa, Tammy, how's it going? Solo, how's it going? But yeah, guys, sorry about me not being able to keep up with the chat. But I mean, there was like 30 people in there. It was like, brrr. I mean, that was great. It was awesome. But I mean, just this polymorphism stuff that's being brought up. I'm really trying to dive into that. I mean, I don't know if there's anything more to learn than just it's polymorphism and it's chance, and you're never going to know exactly what it is. But there's got to be something you could pick out from it and learn. What do you guys want to talk about? Someone get up here with me. I don't want to be by myself. Hi, Michaela. How you doing? Michaela, if you didn't catch the Austin interview, like go back and watch it. Like I pretty much nailed it. I think, anyways. I'm totally satisfied with it. I mean, like I feel like I've made a friend in Austin, like that I could reach out to him and ask him for like advice or anything. Like we even gave each other like a bro hug on camera. Like that, what the hell? Like fuck yeah. Like so I'm like jumping inside. I'm giddy. It was awesome. Crap, I can't do that on here. I have to go back and watch it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do. What's up, Ivan? I mean, I always try to do a pretty good job. I do put, I'd say, at least about 5 to 6 hours into every person, and I try to personalize each episode for that person. So, I mean, I put work in. I mean, and I guess it shows. I mean, I'm trying to text Morbids and get him to come up. What's up, Greg? I'll put it back in there so people don't got to scroll up. Drop the link in the chat. If anyone wants to come up, come on up. Don't leave me up here by myself. I don't know what to talk about. I just like talk to Austin for an hour. Yeah, that was just yeah, that was good. That was good. Um, he said he's going to get Billy to get on the show. So in March, I'm also going to have Billy on. Like, boom. Today was a good day. Seriously, today was a good fucking day, like all around. A couple of agents might have heard me talk about this, but I'm really trying to get involved in the community with like struggling addicts. And I made a presentation today to a guy that kind of helps addicts get back into community when they get out of jail and get them in rehab and all this. Well, now I got some backing in this too. Um, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to present ball pythons to these people that are struggling with, just life in general. I mean, with drugs, I mean, PTSD, I think it would help. I mean, just think about someone with PTSD if they would be getting into breeding. Their mind would be totally 100% occupied. Like, I don't know, mine is. I mean, I'm always sitting here constantly going over things. I get a new snake, like I'm looking at every different possibility that I could do with that snake. So I make the best looking snake that I can with that snake. I mean, I spend a lot of time doing research. A lot. My next guest is actually Greg and TJ from Rippin' Reptiles. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for stopping in. Kaler's Aquatics? Thanks. I don't think anyone new popped in. Yeah, I mean, that couldn't, and I mean, I guess it could have went better. I mean, I don't want to sound like that confident, but yeah, that went really good. Yeah, I mean, basically, I'm looking at it as I'm trying to lay a road for me to be in this for forever, for the rest of my life. Like, and if I could get into talking and presenting these animals and like actually, I don't want to put names out there yet, but there's a couple bigger breeders that are in the community, and I'm sure that have already said that they would provide, snakes for people like this. So, we're going to make them go out and get enclosures, whether it be an aquarium, a heat tank or a heat source and a thermostat. If they could provide that, we are going to provide them with the snake. And like, yeah, I got one of the bigger breeders out there and one of the bigger names. And the other guy's working on that. ENL Living Art. Um, Me and him's been talking about this for a while. And I just finally got a call back. Like there was a lot of, are you crazy? Like you can't do that. Like, but I met the right person and it was the right situation and he thinks it'll be good. So we're, I think this is going to go. I think this is going to go. Yeah, I think that like I thought Austin's like knowledge of the field was really going to just outshine everything and make me look like a dumbass. But no, I think I held my own in the knowledge like point of view of it. Um, kind of. I mean, I'm not just like going after like and trying to present this to parolees. Like, I mean, like I was talking about, what about like a soldier with PTSD? I think this kind of stuff will really help keep their mind occupied and keep their mind off of whatever sends them into that dark place. I mean, maybe we'll find out it helps people with threats. I mean, who knows? I mean, your mind, if you keep it occupied on something and you really just take hold of something and grab it, like your mind will focus on it and all this other bullshit that goes on behind it. Just I don't know. Who knows where it can go? But I'm really starting to take steps to help the community. I know I've only been in this a year, but what does that mean that I can't make my mark? I'm not out here trying to, you know, teach these people genetics or how this works, which I know a little bit about genetics. I study, but I'm just trying to live it out there for an emotional support animal, whether it's a normal, whether it's a Bosa super classic, it don't matter what the gene of the snake is when you're using it for someone to lean on that when they're in time of need. Yeah, I mean, I really think that that's a home run if I could get it off. I mean, that could go nationwide. I mean, it'd just be awesome. What's up, Lakers? It'd just be awesome to just, be able to travel seminar to seminar and talk to people and get them set up to get snakes. I mean, that what? I'd give a left. I'd give my left and right nut. I'm 44. I don't need them. Take them. I'd give my left and right nuts for that. There's only two things in life that I would give up my nuts for, and one, that's to be able to do that as a job, and two is to be able to coach football as a job, because football and snakes is now my second passion. Football consumed my life up until these snakes. But now this gives me more to dive into. I mean, I'm not doing half as many mock drafts this year as I did last year. You guys know what a mock draft is. Someone needs to come up so I'm not just sitting here rambling. I mean, I could tell stories. I'm good at telling stories. I told one today on Snugster's channel, and I think it freaked everyone out. They started getting me into paranormal. And HCF Paranormal comes in. Hey, what's up, HCF? But there's a paranormal guy in there, and I have a history with like the paranormal. Like, I've seen ghosts. I had a pet ghost growing up. I mean, it showed itself to people, like, kind of, if they made fun of me about it threw a trophy of my one cousin. It was pulling the covers off the legs of my other, and they used to make fun of me, and it stood up for me, basically. I named it and I called him my pet, and I guess it liked it. I mean, it's pretty 217. Like, this one's like pretty, you know, out there. But it came from my dad. Like, all right, so I'll tell it. I told it earlier, might as well tell it again. So, back in the 60s when my dad was a little boy, we had a witch in the family. And his cousin, which would have been my second cousin, but we always called him Uncle Charlie. He was a couple years older than my dad. He was born with his eyebrows underneath of his eyes. And he got a surgery when he was done, got them removed, and I guess they kind of transplanted eyelashes above his head. I mean, still to this day, old man Charlie just has like very little eyelashes, or eyebrows above his eyes. Like, it's a couple hairs. But that's just because, I don't know, whatever. It was born down here, and that was a transplant. I always wondered all my life why, but so I kind of got to scoop that day. But anyways, me and a couple friends were out hunting, and I had known that we was related to the Thomases, and so I was like, well, I'm related to them. We'll go over there. If we get caught, like, they'll be all right with it. I mean, no, they don't know me, but the only thing I got to say is I'm Tommy Evans' son, and they'd be great with it. So we go over there, and here, this one kid we're hunting with, he trips, and his gun goes off, and he had a 12 gauge slug. Good thing it wasn't birdshot, because if it was, it would have been plastered in the back of my head and shoulder, because that thing whizzed by my ear. I mean, I don't know how close it was, but I heard it whistling. I mean, it was close. I mean, I'd say within 6 inches. So I'm like, yeah, I'm done. Fuck this. I'm out of here. I'm not hunting with this fool, this idiot. So, we go out in the woods and I go home and I walk in and like, I'm still kind of shooken by it. Like, man, I was like 6 inches from death. Holy shit. So my dad looks at me, my dad was an alcoholic and, he was kind of drunk at the time. And he's like, what's wrong with you, boy? And I was like, well, shit, to be honest with you, I almost got my head fucking blew off today. What do you mean? So, continue to tell him what happened. And as I'm telling him this, his face gets white as a ghost. And he's like, out there on Culp's farm by Thomas's farm. I was like, yeah, it was right behind there. We was coming up on this like old foundation. And right as we got like near it, I heard boom, shoot, this whistle go by my ear. And we just turned around and no, we're done. I almost died. We're out of here. So he looked at me, got turned white as a ghost. And he's like, I don't want you ever going back out around that foundation, around that farm, around that nothing. I don't want you ever going around anything to do with it. I'm like, what do you mean? And I guess when he was a young boy, in the mid 60s, he stayed out there with Charlie a lot. And he said one of the weeks he was out there in the summer that he said a dog with horns got in the house. And, they heard it wrestling around, they heard shots going off because, Charlie's dad's trying to shoot it. So my dad ran in the closet and shut the door. Charlie was behind the dresser or whatever, and this dog went right to the dresser and like pinned, Uncle Charlie in behind this dresser. And, my dad's looking out the keyhole and he said, man, I tell you, like he started to glow green and he grew horns. Horns was coming out his fucking head. And, my dad's telling me this, like, and you could tell he's visually shaken by this. What's up, Morbid? I'm in the middle of one of my ghost stories, so. But yeah, so my dad's visually shaken by this, he's telling me. And so this devil dog kind of got this, my Uncle Chuck trapped behind the dresser. He's growing horns. Well, Chuck's dad comes in and shoots his dog. This dog yelps, jumps out the window onto the porch roof, onto the ground. And around that time, the farm hands were coming up through because they heard the shots and the wrestling and shit. So Chuck's dad yells out the window, get that fucking thing or whatever, go get it. And the farm hands and Uncle Chuck runs down and they're into the woods. By the time my dad and Uncle Chuck caught up, they had this thing trapped in this little shack that was about, quarter mile back into the woods. The same shack that I almost got my head shot off on. Well, they trapped this dog in there and they burn it down to the foundation. They never found any bones or anything. It's kind of funny, like, 25, 30 years later, some dude trips and almost blows my head off. But, so they go back, to the house, think it's all done and over with. And the next day, they went out there to see if they could find the bones and didn't find anything. And they got back to the house. And when they got back to the house, the witch came and knocked on the door. So, Chuck's dad answered the door with a gun. And my dad said they went into the living room and hid behind the couch. But the words, thou shalt be cursed, rung through the house. Like he said, it rumbled it. And Papa Smoke and the witch was gone. So, later on in life, I felt this curse, that was attached to me, was trying to attach itself to my kids because there was some funny things that was going on, with my kids in the middle of the night. It was kind of strange. One was talking some weird language, and then when I woke her up, she was like fighting, and you could see her hands pushing back something that wasn't there. You could see her muscles flexing in her arms and her legs. It's just weird. And then my other daughter was running in midair. And like when I woke up, I was like, what the fuck's going on? It looked like someone threw her. So I went and got blessed and went and got me and my kids like cleaned. And I do a certain chant like every full moon. And I actually found out this woman's name and I went to her grave and asked for forgiveness. And I think since then that things have calmed down a lot. I mean, I still see things, but I don't think that the curse is around anymore. So what's up, Morbid?
You've done some good drugs in your day, haven't you?
I mean, I'm 4 years clean, and I'm still thinking the stories are straight. So I don't know. They might have been that good. Yeah, I mean that's crazy. I mean, like for my dad to sit down and tell me that at the age I was like 17 at the time. And, like, my dad, like, was an alcoholic, redneck, the guy lie in his life. Like, he'll tell you the truth just to hurt your feelings. Why would you just come off and tell me a story like that, to scare me from going back into the woods? Like, he really cared that I didn't get my head shot off or something? Like, I don't know.
I just cleaned my pipe out, and I just got a mouthful of fucking cigarette resin, like tar. You know what I mean? Ugh.
Yeah. Bad. So, dude, you wasn't here at the beginning. I got, I was done. Hour was over. Me and Austin got off, and we talked in the back room for like 5 minutes. And he's talking to Billy about Billy coming on in a week or two.
Yeah.
Or not next week, because I got Greg and TJ from Ripping Royals, but Ripping Reptiles. Yeah, that's it. And then he said the week after that, it would be like, I don't know, either the last 3 weeks he wrote down of March, Billy's going to come on for one of them.
Nice.
So that's cool.
Oh.
That is real cool. Let me see. Anyone else want to come up? I'll put the link in the chat again.
We made a bunch of videos of the ball pythons and posted them.
That's cool. I'll check them out tomorrow because, like, I don't know, move down here a little bit, probably go to bed. But yeah, dude, I nailed that interview. Like, he was just dude, those were some really good questions. Like, I never expected, those questions, to make me think like that. Like, you had a good point of view, a good angle. Like, even the guest complimented me. I was like, damn, fuck yeah. I'm so happy right now.
That dude I got that clown from, he's still saying there's no yellow belly in that it's just blade.
I've never seen Blade do that to the underneath. Go get it and show it to people. Go show the belly up.
Hang on.
Show the belly. Good night, Michaela.
Come on, you little fucker.
I had 34 people in the chat at one time. That's definitely my new record. Now, everyone in the chat, look at the belly of this clown. Would you not say that yellow belly's in it? It looks like a yellow belly clown with that flaming and kind of lines going up on the side like that, like especially down towards the tail. Because it goes up really high on the tail. And look at that. Wouldn't you say that looks yellow belly to you? Anybody? Nobody wants to answer. Well, you know what? I think it looks yellow belly. I think you should put it through something in that complex to see. It's definitely blade as well. Morbid, you're just as bad as I am at showing snakes. I'm not the greatest either, but I don't see that in normal clowns. What's up, E Reptile?
How's it going, E? There we go. He's going to crawl up over the camera.
Yeah, that's kind of almost a good shot if it was like a little bit. Yeah, see how that black line just tries to wrap up all the way across it? Like if I don't think blades do that all the way across. Blade might have a mark here and there coming up. But I don't know. I'm no expert in orbit. I mean, we're going to have to put it to something allelic to prove it out. I'll have a good chance of making a yellow belly clown this year. Oh, who else we got coming up?
Pretty snuggy.
Greg. What up, Greg? Yo, dude.
How is everybody? You able to hear me okay?
No,
Yep.
you're really low, dude.
Okay. I may have to switch to my phone. This tablet has a,
Still, you're really low.
yeah. Stand by.
Yeah, try to jump off and come back in. It was nice to see your face, though. I mean, we talked for like 2 hours the other night. It's always nice to see people's faces. If
I
nothing else.
fucking I was gonna put him in with that pinstripe, with that pinstripes and blue, so I'm gonna wait.
Dude, and another thing, like, he kind of complimented me on how I started my collection. He said that was a really smart thing you did with, like, using clown as a base recessive and taking the clown lab and clown pied and clown sunset, clown ultramel, and clown hypo. The only thing I really don't have that's cool is clown exantic. But you making all those doubles, and then when I want to do triples, the only thing I do is put them together and make, clown double heads. The snack is fat. All the reptile channels don't fight over us. There's plenty of rats to go around. That's pretty good. Well, you know what? Nomadic Rat Pack. I'm 44 years old. I quit fighting about 10 years ago. So, I mean, yeah, I ain't going to fight over none. I'm too laid back anymore. But thanks for stopping in. Always nice to see people. I'm just on cloud 9 right now.
Did you hear that noise?
That tapping noise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking rats out there. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. The rats are out there doing something.
Maybe like something's ticking against the wheel. They're running on the wheel. Maybe like a wood chip got put up against it, a thicker one or something.
Come on now, motherfucker. I don't have an exercise arena set up in each fucking rat tub.
I don't know. I don't know how you got it set up.
The only enrichment
I'm
rats
a little on cloud 9 tonight. I mean, I get excited, when I do something right and I don't fuck it up. Like, I don't know. Hell yeah. Great.
The only exercise my rats get is when they're running from the snake.
Or the males, they get to, do all the exercise they want. It's like it's exercise, but it's still exercise.
Which they're getting ready to get switched out here shortly. Dude, I got some big old male rats here.
We used to have a big old male rat here, but we got rid of it. My daughter Lexi that's the first thing she wanted. She's like, wanted a pet rat. So she went and bought this big ass breeder rat that was like this big. And then she moved out and left it here. So I found someone with a retic and gave it to him. I told her I took it to the pet store. I hope you don't watch this.
I've come to the conclusion if you want to piss off somebody or fuck over a neighbor that lives like 6 houses down the road or wherever,
No, not into that.
Get yourself like 2 to 4 colony of ASFs in a fucking glass quart mason jar and go throw the jar in their fucking driveway, and they come out in the morning and sweep up the fucking glass and bitch about the hoodlums. Meanwhile, there's fucking an ASF colony that just got distributed onto their property.
You're not giving them enrichment. How dare you?
Hey,
that's something I forgot to ask him tonight. Hold on, Greg wants to jump back on. What's up, Greg?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Oh yeah. But I
All
don't
right.
know if you watched their show last night, Mutation Creations, but did you look into that yahoo that's putting out there that these snakes that are kept in bins their whole life, their brain don't grow and they don't they're dumb or whatever? Like, come on. What are you gonna try to throw at us next?
Hey, what are you going?
What you got, Greg?
This is my soul snake. This is Apache. He's not the most stunning snake in our collection, but he's my buddy. He lays here for hours every night and just chills out and watches TV with me.
Heck yeah.
He's
That's
he's a
just a pinstripe, or has it got something else in it?
he's a nitrous. It's a bamboo pin.
Huh. Nice.
Picked him up in Daytona this year from, what was it, Black Label Falls we picked him up? Yeah.
Hold that back up for a second, because Morbid's got a pinstripe that I think got bamboo in it. And I
I'm
want
going
to
to get
see
it
that.
right now.
It's hard to show stuff on. Yeah, see, it's got fire and pastel in it, but it's got them same markings, kind of. They're like, smaller and then colored in.
Well, let me switch to my other.
He's a little lighter because that's pastel fire.
Yeah, so he's got definitely and he's actually fresh paint. He shed this morning.
Don't look at the laundry behind you.
Don't look behind me then either.
It's the bamboo coloration in a pinstripe. To be honest, his markings look a lot like the bamboo monsoon the monsoon pins or the confusion pins.
All right.
But
Aaron Morbid.
Hey, look at that.
And it's got blue eyes.
Well, the pin, the bamboo is in the bell complex, but that doesn't look bamboo from what I see.
Come on, hold still.
But it's also fire and pastel.
Okay.
The fire explains the color because I was thinking it was vanilla.
Yeah.
But see, with it having blue eyes, that tells me that it has something in the bell complex in it. It's like a dark blue.
Is it definitely a dark blue and not a bluish green? Because sometimes the pastel.
Yeah, the pastel will make green.
Yeah, sometimes it will throw them, but
he says they're blue, and the one picture that he got of them, they look blue. I mean, you can't really tell from here. They kind of look like they're a darker blue color.
Yeah.
But he says they got a blue tint to them, and I was like, well, if it's got a blue tint to it, I think the only thing it could be is bamboo. See, I don't know.
Maybe, because I don't know. The one thing I've noticed with all of the bamboo pins that I've seen is if you'll notice his dorsal. You see how bright his dorsal stripe is?
Right.
And it's got that. It's like almost a cream color, and it goes into the greens of the bamboo.
Right.
And I haven't seen many of these, but every one that I have seen has that look about it.
All right.
And then his head. Let's see if I can get the. He's not going to hold still right now.
Of course not. They don't cooperate. They never do. Showing snakes on the camera is an art form.
Yeah, I've had the same problem that Austin was having. I guess it doesn't let you switch cameras. Nope, that didn't do it. If that way a little bit, you can see.
What's up, Vern?
But his head is at. You can look at it from across the room and see the bamboo in his head.
Right.
Just like his eyesight. He'll hold still for you long enough. I promised my camera quality would be better next week. I'm just sitting here messing around on the couch right now. So.
Oh, dude, even if you come on with that, I don't care. It's just about coming on and having a good time. I mean, I'm not worried about quality.
I
Oh,
am.
picture anyway. Well, you can worry about it. You can worry enough about it for the both of us, because I'm just going to go do me, and then we'll have a good time.
What's that?
He said he was worried about, like, sorry for the bad picture quality and stuff. And I was like, dude, we ain't worried about that. And he said, well, I am. And I was like, well, you can worry about that, and I'll just be me. I want to go get my pinstripe now. Everyone's showing pinstripe.
Let me turn the volume down. That's it's hard to see. There.
Oh. So, Greg, where are you from?
We're in Virginia. We're on the eastern shore of Virginia. It's about 30 miles north of Virginia Beach. Yeah, we get confused for Maryland a lot.
This is a chocolate hidden gene wool with pen. Paws head hypo.
Really like the way the chocolate comes out in that.
Yeah, it brings it out. I'm trading this snake, though. I'm trading her for a female clown.
Really?
A baby one. Like, I'm getting size value out of this.
Yeah.
He wants to go back. He's freaking out.
Pen is never one of those traits that really spoke to me much. And we were in Daytona, and we bought a lot of snakes in Daytona, and we were just kind of walking around, looking for anything else that kind of jumped out at us.
Right.
And one second, let me turn that light off.
I'm gonna go put her back quick.
Dining room.
Dining light on my head.
Dining room.
It's blocking me on the screen. Hi.
So it wouldn't be no fun unless I showed Cutie Pie. Like, look at those oranges there. It bleeds up like that flaming. That is just so cool. And it does that all the way down that snake. And
That's
she's
gorgeous.
not going to show her head. There we go. She's gone in the shed too. She ain't as bright as she normally is.
So on the one that he was showing earlier, is there a possibility of lace in that animal at all?
I don't know. See, I traded a dude. It was part of a trade deal, and that snake was supposed to be a female. And it turned out to be a male, so it's just making me wonder if there was anything else involved in it that this goofball doesn't know about.
Yeah.
I just thought it was something in the Bell complex because of the blue colored eyes. Now, if the blue colored eyes aren't there, I mean, I still think that thing kind of looks pastel bamboo-ish, like Zach was saying. Like, you're still got the color of the pinstripe in it, and the bamboo didn't lighten it as much as pastel does. But that thing still looks like a pastel bamboo to me. What are you doing, girl? She's so inquisitive. She looks around and holds her head up like that all the time. She's a cool snake.
I got an inquisitive snake. It's called a blood python and watches every move you make while you hold it.
Yeah, I bet. He wants to let you up every time. I like the orange blessings on the side of her face. I don't know if she's going to let me show it. See that orange there?
Yeah.
I got it so cool. I just love it.
I don't see it. Maybe it's the lighting on Morbid Snake, but I didn't see any of the yellow, which would make the yellow belly.
Huh.
You get that yellow in on the. Usually, you'll have scales that you'll have like a faint yellow coming in,
Right.
and you get that checkering. I mean, but that ridge, that black checkered ridge, that's a blade trait.
Do they go all the way down them?
Yes, on blade it will go all the way down the sides of the snake for the most part.
See, I have blade in my clowns that there's also other genes in it to where it's not letting it go all the way down then.
Yeah,
because
blade will, from what I've seen of them, they'll almost always go down at least the latter half of the snake toward the tail.
Right.
Sometimes up toward the head, they'll start to lose it, which pattern starts to change toward the head a little bit. But
right.
We only have one that we're suspecting is blade in our collection. We picked up a rescue, and it's a VPI het female that we're pretty sure is blade just by her markings.
Right.
But every other blade that I've seen has got it's not. It doesn't really look like the train tracks like you would see on a het pied.
It just looks like little rigid line.
Yeah, it's not as dark. It's just a lot more subtle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Cal, how's it going?
The way that it's raised up, I wonder if maybe it's not a possibility of laced in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a blade lace clown, and it's way brighter.
No, and that's the other side of that is lace makes everything so bright that
and it's clean too. It's bright, it's clean. She's not some of a snake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go put Cutie Pie back. Say goodnight, Cutie Pie. Good night, guys.
I'm from PA. I'm out around Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I'm like between Pittsburgh and Johnstown.
So, how long have you been breeding?
This is my first year with ball pythons. We had retics, but we got out of them. My 4-year-old wouldn't leave them alone, and we decided to downgrade on the retics and get in the ball pythons for him until he gets big enough to stay away from them.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have the space for retics. We're hoping to find a place, buy our own place here in the next couple of years, and one of the prerequisites that I'm going to have is either it's going to have or have the ability to put like a 2 or 3 car garage. That's going to be the snake room. Just so we've got room to spread out with all the racks and everything. Right now we've got snakes scattered in 3 different rooms in the house. We live in an old farmhouse that was built in 1935, and the rooms were a little smaller back then.
Right. So, they definitely were in old houses for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've
so
worked in a
we're
lot of Victorian houses. I put geothermals in Victorian houses, so I've been in the very depths of,
nice.
of Victorian homes and older
Yeah.
homes. So them attics can be tricky. Well, when you're trying to find something to line up that you can run a chase duck through, yeah, you got to climb through every inch of a messed up attic already that has peaks and dormers, and you just hit your head 20 times getting back to this section. Yeah, it's a pain
Yeah,
in the ass.
absolutely.
I'm too old for that crap now.
Me too.
I think I'm too fat, but I just use old.
I'm definitely there.
I got a
I think
belly
it's a
on me,
little bit of both.
probably. But, I mean, I'm just sticking to old. I mean,
I'm not as old as I am fat. We'll go with that.
well, I'm sticking with I'm older than I'm fat. We'll just stay with that.
Yeah, I spent half my life riding around in a car, eating very, very poorly all
Yeah,
hours
well,
of the day and night.
I really appreciate what you did in the past.
I appreciate it. I enjoyed it while I was doing it, but I'll be honest, I thought I would miss it a lot more than I have since I've been out. Um,
No.
it's a different political climate now, and it's a different world.
Yeah, yeah,
It
I
got
get it.
it got to the point I just didn't feel like I was enjoying what I was doing anymore. Anyway, I was just trying to finish the race just to say I finished it. I don't like to not finish anything I start, and it was damn near killing me getting there.
Right. Understood. I'm that type too. I don't like starting something unless I finish it, unless it's a project around the house. Then
Yeah.
I finish about half of it, and then I'll get on the other thing and finish about half of it.
Not
I
a
don't know.
word out of you. I don't want to hear any back talk out of you. You just sit over there and you do you. She needs no encouragement on that department.
Well, no, that's just the way guys are. That's what we do. We finish like half of everything and then go back and finish the other half at a way later date to when it should have probably already been done.
Well, I still catch it because I promised her I had a little woodworking business that I was doing there for a while. Like I did wooden flags like the one I've got up behind me here.
Right.
Didn't take off really well, and COVID really smacked us down on that because we couldn't do shows and things like that.
Right.
But while I was doing that, I promised her that I would build her a butcher block table for the kitchen. And I went through all the steps. I've got all the wood cut, and then this arthritis started kicking my ass that I've been dealing with, and let's just say that was 4 years ago, and it still hasn't been completed.
That's definitely me right there to a T. 4 years ago and it ain't none. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. I thought I rocked it. I was nervous as hell, though. I'll tell you, I was really nervous going into that.
I did well. Austin's a great guy,
Hey, as
dude.
long as you get it done for the 20, as long as you get it done for the 25th wedding anniversary, she can't bitch about it.
That's it. That's it. I've thought often about going out there and trying to get it done. I'm able. I finally found some meds that are working pretty well. After 4 years of struggling with this, but okay, it's been 6 years. Yeah. Anyway, it's finally getting around a little better and able to do more and more with each kind of passing day. So maybe one day I'll get out there and surprise her.
All right.
But I can't say anything to her, get her hopes up or anything, because
You don't get your hopes up, but you just might get it. Yeah, like I mean, I was nervous going into it, but as soon as Austin got on and we was backstage starting to talk, I kind of chilled out and it was just like, I was good before I went on live, but just 8:30 hit, and I started getting bubble guts, and I'm like, what the hell am I nervous for? Just fucking do it, you know? He's just another breeder, you know? Like, just fucking do it, pussy. That's what I gotta tell myself to get it to go.
Well,
And
yeah,
then I listened to myself. I just did it. I stopped being a pussy.
I get it though. I mean, you know, he's one of those guys. Unlike you, he and Billy have definitely been an inspiration for us.
Yeah, like,
And I enjoy their content. I enjoy their insight in the industry. I mean, they're guys.
yeah. I mean, they give it to you straight, and that's how I like it, you know? Don't sugarcoat shit. And that's just like Will going around and saying he's going to start rating these podcasts. And even before that, I was talking to Will and I was like, you know, I want you to tell me where you think I'm bad. Like, you give it to me straight, just like tell me straight where you think I need to be improving and stuff. And he did from that point, and I think I improved in the areas that he told me the first time. So now, as long as I get a microphone and some lights and a laptop and start getting to the technical stuff, I think I'd be, you know, good to go.
Yeah. Look, man, everything is about evolution, man. And as long as, no matter what you're doing, as long as you're constantly moving forward and you're happy with what you're doing and you're enjoying it,
Exactly.
I mean, that's what it's all about, man. You know, like,
Come on
look,
up, John. There's the link. Don't be shy. More forward. Get your butt up here.
Look, I'm up here with my hair a mess and in my pajamas, so if I get on here, you get on here.
I mean, I'll take my hair out to ponytail and I'll get to stand up going in. You know, I mean, if it makes anyone feel better. There he goes.
I told TJ
What
I was going
up,
to get on.
John?
I was full Winnie Pooh at the moment.
There he is. What are you doing in that chat? Get up here.
There he is.
What's up, gentlemen?
What's happening?
Greg, you look relaxed as shit. Where'd that snake go, though?
He's right here.
Oh,
Dude, he's right here in my arms for
All right.
hours. He is the most unique animal that I have. Now, tell the story. When we picked him up in Daytona, I was done buying snakes, dude, because I had blown my budget. I had more than blown my budget. And we stopped by, and Black Label had a table there with Bob Vu, and I wanted to see a couple of the animals with Bob Vu, and TJ wanted to talk to him for a little bit, and walked around the side of it, and this guy is peeking out at me from the enclosure. I'd never seen one before. I said, no, let me take a look at him if you don't mind. And when TJ and I both knew when she pulled him out of the enclosure, handed him to me, he wrapped himself around my arm that he wasn't going back in it.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I see a little bit. I can barely see him, but little pinstripe in it, or is it a monsoon, or what's going on?
You know what? TJ just brought me a prop here for my phone. Hold him a second.
Buddy.
And I will see if I can make that work.
Are you leaning out against a baby Yoda?
I am. Did you see it?
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, his name's Grogu, but it's Baby Yoda.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you.
Well, I'll
Yeah, it
put
was
you
just
in-
hard to see you before, but
I'll give everybody a better chance next week to see the animals. When we come on next week, I'm gonna set up in my man cave with webcam, and I got lights and shit up there, so
Cool.
Oh, there it is.
we'll be able to better show everybody what we got going on. But I actually, if you check our Instagram, I actually posted a video with him today. Not really, kind of whites him out.
yeah, pretty guy though. Pinstripes always been beat up. I mean, as long as I can remember, 4 or 5 years, whatever. But
I like pinstripes.
there's a lot to be done with pinstripe yet. You throw some Enchi in there, and you get that blown apart a little bit. Pinstripe is really nice.
I agree. And that's what I was saying. You know, pinstripe has never been a morph that I have ever gone for, but I am all about the Bell complex, and I am all about Ultramel. We picked up a gorgeous Ultramel boy this year, and we picked up another pinstripe girl who is also het albino, het pied. When I bought this guy, he was supposed to be a pet. He was never
Hey,
intended.
I'll talk to you guys later. I gotta go.
All right, later, dude.
All right, man. Peace out. Good to see you too.
Never intended to be a breed project at all. But we had a couple males with here that just didn't go for us.
Thanks for stopping in, Kate Diesel.
So we threw him into we've got a huge pastel yellow belly lesser girl, and we threw him into her, and he locked her up. What, 30 minutes? He was in there locked up with her. He went in like an old pro, man. So
You gotta love that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, we've got another Mojave girl that we had intended for another snake. That he's big enough, he's old enough, he's just not there. I just don't think he's mature enough. So we threw Apache in there with her, and we're gonna have a lot of white snakes if these girls go this year, because between the albinos we've got and the bells, we're gonna have quite a few white snakes. But I'm really looking forward to getting some of the things in the pen, like spot nose and phantom, maybe some leopard.
Oh, some
We've
phantom
got-
would be super interesting. I've seen the spot nose and I've seen the leopard, but the phantom I haven't seen. The phantom might be really interesting in there.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that the darks of the phantom really accent well in the pinstripe.
Sure.
I
I
love it. Like I said,
seen-
the bell
it was,
complex to me is
what was it?
where it's at.
I seen I think it was black pastel, something else calico ultramel that just was mind blowing. I
Yeah.
mean, it had purple wrapping down and the white coming up. Like it was predominantly a purple and white snake.
Yeah.
And I can't find it now. I wanted to show it like to Austin tonight to see if he had anything that looked like that or anything close to that, but I couldn't find it again. And man, that thing was just breathtaking.
Well, and I'll tell you what, the goofy thing with that calico / sugar or whatever you want to categorize them as, but you throw those into like the bananas, the ultramels, that calico really does some odd stuff with the purples. It
Yeah.
brings them in like way up toward the dorsal, pulls them up from the belly, just like where that break line is. You get all those weird purples in there. And I've never seen another gene do that, but the calico really separates that out. It's super cool looking.
Yeah.
Another gene that
Calico
got
is
really beat
definitely
up.
going to my ultramels.
Yeah, I definitely want to do some calico stuff too. And calico, again, like pinstripe, got beat up for a while. Everybody's like, "Ooh, I don't like that," But
Well, I'm guilty of that because there are very few combinations that I like calico in, but the ones, what was that we were looking at the other night with the calico in it, Dave?
See, I don't like the normal calicos either, like a pastel calico where the whites go all the way up. I don't particularly like that. But when you put it into ultramel and you get that deep dark purple and that stark white comes up and lays right against that purple, oh my God, was it ever just... Calico has its place. I mean, it might not be as much as some genes, but it does have its place where it's just knocked out the park.
Oh, for sure.
There are some combos that calico, I mean, it's one of those genes that when it works, it works. It looks incredible. And I don't care for the gene enough personally to make it something that I really want to work with. But I do appreciate when it's in a good combo. It really comes out.
Yep. And I saw a lot of the, well, I hate to beat it up, but like you put it into those weird, not albinos, but the T's where it comes out in the ultramel, the monarchs, all of the goofy kind of off color animals, and it really pops. What did you just grab there, Ken?
I just grabbed something to drink.
Oh, okay. No, I just was curious what you grabbed. So I got something to drink too, but it's always beer on this end. But
Just
oh dang it! Okay,
I don't drink alcohol unless it's an occasion, like like there's a wedding reception or something. I mean,
Well,
it's not. It really wasn't ever like a vice of mine. Like I was never really an alcoholic, but I don't know. I did enough of it in my 20s. I just
yeah.
I don't know.
It's Wisconsin, so
You,
it's
you
not
see,
really
see, my
a
dad
vice.
drank beer every night. My dad, he had a 30 pack every night. You know what I mean? And just I don't know. I just didn't want to be that guy
Oh
because
yeah,
I've seen the bad side of alcohol. You know,
yeah.
so I mean,
Absolutely.
there's definitely a good side to where you could go at home and drink a couple beers and and in the evening enjoy yourself. But like I said, I've seen the bad side of alcohol, and I just kind of stayed away from it.
Well, it's a short fence to jump. That's the thing, There's that fence there, but it's a short fence to jump, and people jump it way too often for sure.
Yeah.
I think a
But
lot
it's
of people trip
Wisconsin,
over.
so that's all we do.
I
That's all
think a
we
lot
do.
of people just don't see that fence coming and they trip over it. To be honest.
Well, that could be too. Yep.
See, like my brother, he has 6 DUIs. I mean, he works in
Ooh.
a Lockheed Martin factory, and he makes like $30 an hour. He'll pay a lawyer $5,000 to get him out of jail time, and then he's got like 30 days house arrest or 90 days house arrest, and he's paying for that, and he's paying for this and paying for that, and it's just like, you know what?
Yeah.
I
No,
learned from him too. That ain't worth it either.
Yep, you bet. So yeah, the pin is recognizable right out of the gate. So the first girl I bought, and my son brought a ball python home first. That's how I got started. Period. Was zero interest in it. We grew up in South Florida, so you didn't touch snakes. I mean, you just didn't go around them. Everything that bit you was poisonous, right? So it's like that was the last thing on your mind was to go collect a bunch of poisonous stuff. But anyway, he went off to college and he come home with a ball python, and I got goofing around with it and went, wow, these are actually really cool pets, So I got a pinstripe. She was het pied, head hypo. Still have her. Bred her a year ago and got triple hets from her.
Nice.
So they're sitting, the Enchi Blast, triple het, clown pied hypos.
Nice.
But yeah, she's still just a baby to us. We put her around our neck, we watch a movie, we just chill. Yeah, she's always gonna be here. So
Yeah.
looks
There's a couple of the first snakes that I don't think I can get rid of. Like my ivory het clown. Like there's just so much I want to do with her. I don't think I'll ever get rid of her.
right.
I mean, just the gravel double het ultra male clown male that I got. I mean, I think I'm going to keep him for years. I mean,
Yeah. It's a
there's
weird
just certain things.
attachment.
What's that?
I say it's just a weird attachment to those first couple. They're like, I won't get rid of the first few I got.
I
Useful
don't
to
think I
me
can
in the
get rid of Cutie
projects.
Pie. I just got her, and she's an allelic combination, and
Oh,
there's a lot you could do with that allelic stuff.
Yep, 100% agree.
I can tell you there is no amount of money that would buy this snake from me. Ever.
Right?
Yeah, same with our first couple, Greg. I agree. 100%.
I mean, it would have to be an insane amount. Like someone would have to offer me like 10 grand, and I'd be like, I could buy all, Freedom breeder racks and stuff. Like I can get all my equipment I need with that. Yeah, I can lose one snake to get everything I need to make this successful.
Right.
For the peace of mind that this animal brings me and has brought me since I have owned him, you could
Yeah.
go 6 figures and I would walk away from you. As serious as an heart
What's not worth it? If it does that much for you personally, then that snake is priceless to you. I get that.
I mean, I just look how long I've been sitting here with you. He's not stressed. He's not upset at all. He's interacting with me. He's a very unique animal, and I learned to appreciate that in him within about the first 30 seconds of holding him.
Huh. See, that's a special story there. That's something that, that you should be telling people for as long as you have that snake. That you got an attachment and a bondment with it, because that's what a lot of people don't get, that you can't create that attachment. You can create that bond like you do with a dog with a snake.
And that, that's something that, well, you and I talked about it some the other night. And that's something that I'll save to go into next week to kind of give some more content for you. But it's been a journey for me with him. TJ came home with our first snake, or her first snake. She came home with a piebald that she bought at a pet shop. And at first she didn't want to tell me how much it cost, and I'm like, she came home with that, and she had just gotten a rescued gecko or gargoyle gecko that she had gotten from somebody that our daughter had. She works at the vet's office, and she had asked if she wanted that. So she set that up, and TJ comes home that night, and she's all excited, and she brings me this gorgeous, little piebald. And I'm not, piebalds aren't my thing. Those are her things. I appreciate color contrast and pattern, unless it's an all white snake. But she brought that home, and I can remember I sat there, I said, TJ, we're not going to have a house full of reptiles, honey. So
little did you know.
I can tell you that less than a year later, I'm eating my words, because we now have 47 in the house.
45 with several hanging in the can't ship balance.
Well, 45 out of ours. We got Tony's 2 back there. I've got 2 that I've got quarantined for my sister. Till she gets her enclosures squared away. But and I've got 5 more snakes that we've purchased that we're waiting to ship. So it's just it was a rapid acquisition. It was, and
it's crazy how fast that goes.
Once I bought my first snake, I actually got 2 together. I got a corn snake, and then I got a what is she? Vanilla Enchi yellow belly. That was one of Bob Vu's. And once I got them and found the value in those animals, and in that I mean I was in a really dark place at the time, and just the ability to sit and handle the animals, and just it was like meditation time for me, and really helped to settle a lot of anxiety and depression that I was experiencing at the time. And I told TJ, I think maybe a month later, that hey, I think I'd really like to try to breed these things.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
I mean, I rode around for 25 years at 100 miles an hour in a car with lights and siren on, my hair on fire all the damn time, and never could figure out what I wanted to do when I grow up. I know now what I want to do when I grow up.
Right. So what's funny is the exact opposite thing with Jamie, and I don't know, maybe Ken, you're familiar with Jamie. I don't know so much about Greg, but when I got together with Jamie, I already had the snakes, and she wasn't about the snakes. You know what I mean? She'd come over and she'd look at them, she'd check them out, and I'd take one out, and she'd maybe touch it. She'd look at it from a little distance, but like that's completely a 180 flop now. To her, that's her anxiety break, like you said, Greg. Like she holds a snake and that just pulls the anxiety out of her. Where coming into it, it was the exact opposite. It was a trigger. It was like nerve-wracking to look at him, get close to him, but now it's like her medicine, to sit down there in the snake room and just grab one after another out and just handle them. Calms her down, and she loves it. So it's done a complete flip-flop. I think she actually handles the snakes more than I do, to be honest. Actually, I'm pretty sure of that, But
that's awesome.
Yeah, she gets a lot from it and constantly says so. It's pretty cool.
I would not have believed the difference. We have so many friends, because I post pictures, on Facebook. of me with the snakes, and I have a lot of friends, say, man, I've known you for a long time, but what's wrong with you? What is it with you and these snakes? Why is it always about these snakes and everything?
I
But
get the same thing, dude.
that this year, around Christmas, when we got together with family, I had 5 different people come to me and tell me individually what a difference they have seen in me and in my happiness level since we've been doing the snakes. And that's worth every bit of money that we spent in these animals. And I've told TJ
Yeah,
all along
absolutely.
that if we try this breeding thing out, and if it doesn't work out, if we can't make it pick up and take off, then I have a house full of absolutely beautiful animals that I enjoy and that I can hold and interact with daily. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. You
Right.
hear that all the time now on cast too. It's like, don't breed or make anything you aren't willing to keep. Right?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like if you're not willing to keep that animal from the time it comes out of that shell till the time it's gone, don't be breeding that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's kind of our philosophy. We don't really go big in a lot of clutches. We literally could have had in the mid 20s for clutches last year, but the offspring that would have come from those pairings wasn't something either we wanted ourselves or we saw as like a marketable animal. So we passed on a lot of pairings that you can produce a bunch of stuff, but why? You know what I mean? Like, are you making something for a reason? Like, either you want it yourself or you see it as obviously a marketable snake. But yeah, we passed on a lot of stuff that we could have easily paired up and just had floating around. And that's a huge problem, I think, anymore. People get all these big females and they're like, well, I got to get a male for this. I got to get a male for this every year. If there's a female that's not working, they view it as a detriment, And I think that mindset needs to go away and like look at what is that offspring going to be? Is that something you want yourself, or is that something that's pushing the market forward, or is it just slack animal?
Right.
I know that's a hard line, and that's probably going to be contested by people, but it's like that's
I
the way
mean,
we're
like, I
looking
have
at every
very
pairing.
few clutches that don't at least have a chance of a double head.
Right? Like get some progression or something that you want to say yourself, I can keep this for 20 years. I can keep this animal for a long time and I don't feel bad about that. Or don't produce it. This isn't like, let's fill the pool because the pool's already full. We don't need it out on the deck where people are stepping on it. And you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. It's weird to me.
Well, I think one thing that I've noticed in the industry is that with, I don't know, Justin and Miguel and some of these guys coming out with things like the Pompeii, and it seems like everyone is chasing down these excuse me, these huge high-end animals, these collector boutique animals, and they're coming with a hefty price tag. But those aren't the animals that brought me to the healing that I have found in them. So I want to have something when it comes time for me to vend, and I'm saying this without my first egg on the ground yet. We're still crossing our fingers and hoping. We've got 10 pairings this year, and we've got some really good signs, but no one's really, we haven't seen an ovulation yet. But I want my table to have something there for everyone. If I can produce a $5,000 or $10,000 animal, then great. That's something that will help the business along. That's something that will help to offset some of the costs, and it's something that I will absolutely hold back the best animals that I make, for myself, for number one, for my personal reasons, and number two, for the business reasons. But I think that everybody gets caught up. Like right now, the craze is in all these double. Everybody says if you're not doing double recessives, you're not doing anything. I disagree.
I mean, I don't disagree with that. I do kind of disagree with that statement because there is a path to follow if you're not working these recessive animals. But the way I see it is I need to keep up, and double recessives and triple recessives is the only way you're going to really keep up. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, I'm not saying I have the golden answer to everything. I'm saying in my instance, this is how I seen it, this is how I took it, and this is what I'm doing.
Well,
What you're
and
doing, is it wrong? No, absolutely
you
not.
know what? For your business mission, that may very well work for you. For me, my path is this. If I can help one person, let alone a handful of people, find the appreciation for these animals that I have found and find the healing in these animals that I've been able to find, then that's worth any amount of money you could offer me. Even if I'm taking a normal and I'm feeding it for 6 months, and then I'm selling to somebody for what it cost me to feed it for those 6 months, is that smart business wise? No. But the amount of appreciation that I'm going to take from that, the amount of self-fulfillment and accomplishment that I would take from that, if I know that's going to a good home of someone who's going to learn to appreciate the animals, or someone who is going to start into the hobby, I'm here for it.
Right,
So
right.
I plan on having, we were sitting down trying to do a model of what we'd want to have on the tables, and one of the first things that I said, we have to have a section of 300 and under that's as big as any other section that we have on the table, because those are your snakes that your first time people are going to come in and buy. And if they don't buy them, then you can always wholesale those animals if you have to get out from underneath them, if you have to make room in your racks. But
Well, and that's kind of what I was alluding to a little bit. So your business model can be any number of 100 things, right? So like Ken, you're perfectly right. If you want to stay in a community driven kind of breeder plus market, then you're right. You better be doing double recessive stuff. If you're not producing things that are going to push that breeder market forward, don't bother, kind of a deal. If that's your goal and your mindset, that's completely fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. I guess what I was getting at is like deciding where that line is for you and what you want to produce and what you want to be putting out there has to match where your market is, right? So, and the same thing for you, Greg. Like, there's nothing wrong with producing a pet grade animal that people can afford. It's beautiful, it's amazing looking, but we don't need 6,000 of those. And the same thing on Ken's side. We don't need 6,000 in that I want to build a Pompeii market. Like, all the building blocks for a Pompeii are there, right? But we don't need 6,000 building blocks for a Pompeii. There's no room for that, regardless of which way you go. So when you look at your pairings and you look at what you can literally put out of the door to a good home, to somebody that is going to have a use for it, and it's not just a turnaround, I'm going to slap $1 on it and make $10 guy. You know what I mean, though, because it could become that kind of market really fast. But you kind of have to like regulate. Am I going to sit with 80 animals, or am I going to get rid of 20 and I have 5 that I can manage? And that's what you produce in that market. And all those markets are viable. All those markets are perfectly good. It's perfectly good reason to make any kind of snake, but it has to be in the right numbers. Like what's weird is I look at a place like Dynasty, right? And this isn't to slam Dynasty at all, but I look at their listings and I'm like, how do you produce 80 pastel leopards? Like, how do you produce 80 pastel leopards? What were you making to put 80 pastel leopards out there? Who's going to use all that?
Right.
And I mean, I don't know. I don't mean to sound like that guy. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to go off on that weird tangent, but
I
like
get it.
there's a point where you're just pairing things to pair it, and you're just making stuff that's just a wave coming in, and it's the slush on the sand that just sits there and fizzles out. You know what I mean? Like, Be the
Yeah.
wave that goes either back into the ocean or back onto the sand. Don't be the one that sits out there and bubbles out in the froth. You know what I mean? Like,
You read what Blaker's just posted up there. Look at what he's selling. Albinos, they sell. Pieds, they sell. Mojave butter bells. Everyone likes those bright, stark white snakes with the blue eyes. They sell. Pastels and spiders. That's what sells. I
Yeah.
mean, I get the
And
lower
make a
end of
few.
it. I
and
do.
make a few, right? Don't
Yeah.
make 200. Make a few, right? So I guess it's just all numbers. But and your goal is, you're right, Ken. If you want to progress in the breeder market and you want to sell to other breeders and you want to stay in that breeder group that's pushing their collections forward, you're exactly right. You better have double recessives. Greg, at the same time, you want the guy that walks up to the table and wants to feel good about the pet he's bringing home, and he wants it to be beautiful, and he wants it to be, he doesn't care if it's, pair of codoms in there and it's gorgeous. He's taking it home to enjoy that animal, right? So there's
Sure.
room for all of that in the market in the right numbers. Don't make 800 of Greg's. Don't make 800 of Ken's. Make it where you're capable of making,
That's it.
and manage it. It's like so
Boy.
much overgrowth.
If I made 800 double recessive animals in a year, I would be pulling in some freaking money. I'll tell
Well,
you.
right, but yeah,
I
but
would
you
be.
but you
I'd
know
be
what I'm
hustling
saying.
double recessive every day, all day, every day. I would have to hustle the hell out of it, but I'd be making some money.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Yes, exactly. 904. We all need king snakes. Exactly.
I have no desire to be the next Justin Kabilka or Mike Wilbanks. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
We want to keep it small so that it's easily manageable, so that we can go in. The biggest I could ever see me allowing this to get is to the point that if we had someone that we were to hire maybe 10 years down the road to help maintain the animals while we're doing shows and things like that. But it's like, TJ and I were just talking last night. I would like to get to the point that this business of ours would be able to pay for us to go and run the show circuits and meet the people and have those interactions. And if we stick an extra $100 in our pocket here and there, then so be it. But the experience that we gain from it is much more than that. Look, I was a cop for 25 years. I've never had a lot of money, and it's not something that that is really important to me.
Right. And I think this group, and I'm just looking close, and I'm not going to even guess ages, but I think in this older group, we kind of view that the same way. We've had our chances to go out and grab quick money, easy money, in things that we didn't feel right about, right? You had that decision in front of you, and you're like, I'm not going to step on someone's neck just to get up a little bit in life, right? So we've all passed on that opportunity. To me, that group of breeders is looking at this like, we want to pass this along for enrichment for everybody. It's not for our own personal gain. I think we've all done that in our lifetimes. We've had the chances to do that.
Sure.
And that's where I see a lot of division, like a lot of young guys getting in that are selling their collections now. Thought it was an easy buck. I can make X amount of money, you know what I mean? They saw it as a quick dollar, but you see these 15, 20 snake collections going up left and right now with the market. It's like, you had the wrong idea going in,
But you know what? I appreciate those guys. Because I need
well, right.
In a way, yeah. Right.
Right.
If it weren't for those guys who were making room in their racks, getting rid of the bigger females, I wouldn't have any breeding right now. So.
Right.
Now, if you go and watch how to start out breeding ball pythons on YouTube, you're going to hear a lot of start out with a normal and a pastel or something like that. And the person that said that information, I totally feel they're saying that to try to keep the market down. Like,
they want to sell their pastels, right? So
I don't know. There's value in that statement, though. Yeah. And the reason I think that is this. here we are. We've got 10 large females that we've been pairing up. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're figuring it out as we go.
Right?
So if you're going to do that, then you
Make it till you make it.
to do that on the low end side until you decide if it's really for you. Rather than going out
I get
and
it.
buying a
Alright.
pair of breeding sunset clowns, maybe maybe it's time to just start out with something simple. Like I'll be honest, my first pair that I bought that I had intention on breeding, and I'll show them to you next week. I've got a pair of fireflies that I bought from Morph Mayhem, and they are absolutely beautiful.
They
And
are beautiful snakes. I'll agree to that.
the firefly is the greatest example of you don't have to have $10,000 or even $1,000 into an animal to have an absolutely beautiful animal that you can enjoy, for all of its life. I very much plan to pair those together. I would like some super fires for breeding purposes.
Right.
And the super flies, well, they ain't bad to have either. So, but I would like to put some of those snakes out there. I would really. We won we watch Keys Constrictors podcast all the
Right.
time, and on their giveaway, we won a breeding desert ghost pair.
Nice.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm excited to put that desert ghost to a firefly and put that out there.
Beautiful.
Because I really I love color and contrast and pattern in my animals. So I'm really excited to try to put that out there. It's like one of the projects that I want to get my hands on is lace.
Exactly.
Well,
So
I might be
here's
able to help you out with that.
Well,
right.
we
We
talked
have
about
a
that. I'm on
ton of
board.
lace.
Yeah.
So here's the market breaker on the lace, right? So we went in on lace big, like not last year, but just before our last breeding season, so early 22. We got a ton of lace stuff, right? We start putting it into our collection. We start putting it into everything we have as far as DOMs or cessives. We've actually got some Desert Ghost lace stuff going together this
I
season.
do like Het Red.
I do too.
Yeah, Het Red's
I love
beautiful.
HRA.
But what's crazy about the market breaker on the lace is that you watch the trends, right? So lace got super hot. Like everybody talks about lace, 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 lace. And when we bought it, it was pretty reasonable. And we just looked at what the end result was. So in the pet market, what do the pet people want? They want that snake to be beautiful for 15 years, right? They don't want a pastel to turn into a brown log that sits in the back of their, $2,000 build with all the lights and all the plants and things they maintain. They want a beautiful snake sitting back in there when it's 10 years old, right? And lace enables that to happen at a reasonable price where breeders can produce it and not have recessives going into weird combinations that are difficult to build. We have some lace female adults that look so sharp. I mean, simple combos like pastel yellow belly lace. And you look at it and you go, holy crap, that's a 2,800 gram female. Are you kidding me? You
It
take
looks
it
like
out of the
Desert Ghost.
tub and yeah, it looks like it came right out of the egg. I mean, and sometimes better,
I'll show
But
you a pastel lace, just a simple pastel lace that reminds you of a pastel Desert Ghost.
yeah, I mean, they're so brilliant and so
You
sharp.
took the words out of my mouth. The lace is like the poor man's desert ghost because it's number one. I love that it's in codon form, and you get the same benefit.
Exactly. It's that weird market leveler, right? To where
Yeah.
you bring those pet people in to where they feel like they're getting that boutique recessive snake, you know what I mean? And you can kind of level that market out. So yeah, we got a ton of lace stuff coming this year. It's all going into long-term projects, but at the same time, all of the byproduct from that is all lace stuff. So we can't go wrong, right?
Right.
I don't know. It's so fun. I really do like getting on these and talking to people because I'll talk to my living room wall otherwise, right?
Yeah, right. If we were to sit here and talk to people online, or sit here and look at Morph Market and
Right.
study genes and read up on this, I'd rather get make a friend instead of staring at my phone.
Yep, absolutely. So I apologize if I seem too chatty or whatever.
No,
No,
dude,
no, I appreciate the input.
Yeah.
I
that
think that
away.
we went the wrong way about it because I can't. I don't know that's the wrong way because in my mind it's still going to work out the way that I want. But we did go out and I bought a lot of base gene things. I'll be honest. I'm really fascinated with the interaction between the red stripe and certain combos and yellow belly with certain combos. So I went out and I did buy quite a few single gene animals this year because I could get them for a lot of them. Shit, I picked up for less than $100. And yes, it's going to take a while for me to build the combos that I want to build, but then I can build them the way that I want to. So if you buy a bumblebee, if you want to separate that out, you've always got to be concerned that whatever you're going to breed that with might have spider in it. And whatever someone's view is on spider here or there, spider is not exactly the most desirable gene to have right now for obvious reasons. And I have some animals like I would like to try to put red stripe to everything in my collection at some point and just see how it comes out. So I bought a red stripe het clown male that I can do just that with, can kind of bounce it through. We did the same thing with some xanthics because we want to be able to have the ability to work
Hi,
other
Jamie.
genes with xanthics.
Ken says hi.
So we'll have to work out how we're going to do that and the path we're going to get there. And, it's like the saying goes, either you're going to invest money or you're going to invest time.
Yeah.
If you don't have a lot of money, then you're going to be investing a lot of time. And unfortunately, we're in that group because we were taken from a 2-income home to a single income home. I'm not working. I have zero money coming in, and I'll explain that later on. But long story short, that's where we're at. So I'm counting on being able to turn this business into a profitable thing in the next couple of years. Now I'll have full retirement that I'll begin to collect as soon as I'm old enough. But I can't collect my retirement until I'm 50. It'll be full retirement, however. So I just need to make it a couple of years. And if I can get this business functioning, up and running, and in the black in the next 2 years, when it comes time for my retirement money to come in, well, that's $30,000 to $40,000 a year that I'm going to be able to further invest in the business and take us to whatever point we want to go to.
I appreciate that, Vern.
Oh, I didn't catch it. What did Vern say?
Y'all are doing great. Great flow.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Doing great. I don't know. I was just sitting here talking. It feels like that's the nice part about this atmosphere is that it generates kind of a comfort zone where I haven't been on lives, Ken. We've been around for 3-4 years anyway, and we see a lot of them come and go, but have never jumped in one. Ken, you put your link out there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna jump in there and talk to Ken. So I don't know what it is about you, but
Come on up.
yeah, maybe it's just that. But you talked me right into coming up.
My first live as well, but I figure if there are any kinks with the AV stuff that we've got to do, then tonight's the night to figure that out.
Right.
So,
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm inviting like that. I mean, I like meeting new people, and it's just I love this community. Like this community, you got your shitheads in it, but they're very far and few between, and it's just great. I mean, I don't have many bad experiences in the year that I've been in it, and just the steps that I've made in a year Like people are seeing it, and I'm getting a lot of feedback from it, and it's all positive, and it's just like fucking right. Like,
Yep.
thanks for noticing. Like, hell
Oh,
yeah.
super supportive and a great community that way. And I've seen things that, if you look at it from like a production standpoint, you know, whatever you
Right
want
on,
to
Bert.
view it as, you could beat it up, right? You could take it out in the alley and go, well, this was terrible, that was bad. But this community doesn't do that at all. They just highlight like the good parts of what's going on. And they might go, hey, you might consider this to push you in a better direction, right? But they're super good about not bashing people for going out and just
Right?
giving it a whirl. You have to. You have to step out of that shell, right? So
Yeah.
you've done really well, man. Done really well. Like I
It's
say,
not from a lack of trying, and not from a lack
right.
of studying, because I spent a lot of hours, like just reading up on stuff and studying and just learning this. A lot of videos, a lot of mutation creation, just a lot of like experienced
Okay,
people
yes.
doing this, just watching them and listening.
Yeah, you bet.
And, one of our nightly things that we do is we'll sit here on the couch while we're eating dinner or whatever, and we'll see who's got new videos up, and we'll sit and watch those just to absorb the information. And we thought at one point about maybe doing a YouTube channel to try to document our experiences that we've had, because we started out from nothing and learning everything about the animals and the industry as we went along. And maybe we missed an opportunity to do that. It wouldn't be hard to pick it up and go with it at this point. I don't have any desire to get into the YouTube monetization and things like that. I think that for someone who has the drive for that, it's a great avenue. I just don't feel that it's necessarily my thing. I mean, obviously, you can see I've got a face for radio. Who the hell's going to go and listen to a lot of what I've got to say?
Hey,
Um,
same. Same.
I'm not really big worried about getting monetized, but when I get there, I get there. But I tell you what, it is really exciting when you have a good week. Like this week, I went from like 275 to 360 in a week. I'm like, go, go, go.
It's good.
It's not really like I care that I get there, but just seeing the numbers go up like that, it gets exciting.
Yeah.
And it's just positive reinforcement for your interest and the time that you put in it, right? So yeah, seeing that number ticker just going tick 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 tick, it's like saying, hey, you're doing something right and you're on the right path, right?
Yes, I'm a Yenzer. I grew up near Pittsburgh for sure.
Yeah, you see the Steelers hanging back there and
Yeah. Well, and then when I'm speaking, I say Yens and I call Pop Pop, because I mean that's
okay.
the way I grew up. I mean, and that was the language that I was taught as a little kid for 20 years of my life. And then I move up here to State College, and I say Yens, and they're like, "Oh, you're from Pittsburgh." I'm like, "How the hell do you know?" Like, like, what are you talking about? Like, how did you pick that up already? Oh, you're using Yens. Oh, okay, all right, now I get it now.
You tipped him off, Ken. You tipped him off.
And I didn't even know at first that I was tipping people off, but I didn't know Yens was just a word that people around Pittsburgh use. I didn't know pop was only called pop in certain areas.
Midwest. Yeah.
Like
Most
our
of the Midwest.
sign at the store says pop. It don't say soda, it says pop. And I
Right.
don't think
Isn't that
people
weird?
really understand that.
Well, and you go down south and it's all Coke.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter what kind of soda it is, it's all Coke. Like,
It's all Coke.
Coke, $3.99.
Yeah.
Like what? Yeah.
My mom's side of the family's from Texas, and when I was younger, we went down there and visited, and we was at this like public pool, for the day swimming. I went up to the concession stand and I asked for a Coke, and she's like, "Well, what kind of Coke would you like, honey? Would you like a Coke, Pepsi Coke, Sprite Coke?" And I'm like, Coke, I think.
Actual Coke.
Just regular Coke,
Yeah.
Am I saying it right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think the only thing in the South that has is RC Cola. You got your diehards who love the RC, and that's what they want.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want anything else.
See,
Well-
Royal Crown was actually like a Pennsylvania thing. Like The main factory of Royal Crown used to be right there in Uniontown, or one of them, anyways.
Okay, I didn't know that. RC used to be my favorite soda, though. I mean,
Yeah, like Royal Crown's not bad. I mean, they know it as RC. They don't know it stands for Royal Crown, most people, but
Yeah.
yeah.
you know what I miss? Cherokee Red. You don't see it around anymore.
Ain't
Not
even
many
heard
people
of
know
it.
about it either. It was another RC product. It was their strawberry pop. They called it Cherokee Red. It was always sold right next to the RC. And I think it was the RC Brewing Company too that put it out. I'm pretty sure of that. But yeah, you don't see it
I've only seen the knee high. I never saw the Cherokee Red.
knee high.
Yep. Grape knee high.
Great
Saw a
knee
lot
high,
of grape.
orange knee
Yep.
high.
Did you see Fago?
Nope, not so much of that. Occasionally it would squeak in, but it was small amounts. Never saw it in like stocked on the shelves, you know.
We used to have a saying said Lego my Fago, like Lego my ego.
Yep, yep.
I mean, anyone grabbed your Fago when you was a teenager, you waited to say that. Like, took that
So I
out
know
and
where
waited
you're
for
from,
you.
Ken, but where is Greg from? Greg, you're from.
So I'm on the eastern shore of Virginia.
Okay.
The little peninsula, it often gets confused as part of Maryland. But we're about probably 20 miles or 30 minutes north of Virginia Beach.
Okay. Gotcha.
Real rural area. Um, laid back. Everybody here, you're a farmer or you're a fisher or something like that.
You're only about 6 hours from me. It takes me about 6 hours to get to Virginia Beach from my house.
It's about 5 from where we are. My aunt used to live up in lived in Gettysburg and York.
Right.
I dated a girl for a while. She was from up that way too. It's about 5 hours.
Gotcha.
How about you, John?
Okay.
Where are you?
Well, we're like 82 hours from everyone. No, we're we're right up by the Canadian border. Northwest Wisconsin. So Minneapolis, St. Paul, if you took
Okay.
a beeline northeast, like an hour and 10
Okay.
outside of there, kind of in the very northwestern part of Wisconsin, but right on the border, basically.
Okay.
Yep. Super rural. Really tough to do our shipping. We're having a really difficult time getting even our feed, our rats and all of that. So we just said, you know what, we're going to take a trip. Drove around actually about 5-6 hours from here to round up all our little ASF starter colonies down toward Milwaukee, Wausau area, and rounded up a bunch of ASF and just brought them back home, put our racks together, and got our own feed going. Because when
What
you're out
breeders from Wausau? I've seen that before.
Garrick DeMeyer, one of the
Yeah.
biggest ones in the industry. I mean,
Yeah, that's
Royal
where I've seen it
Constrictor.
from.
Yeah, yep. He's where we got. Actually, my son got his pied.
Nice.
Very first ball python we got was from Garrick. Super nice guy, really nice guy.
You know Hissy Fits reptiles too, Doug Necker.
I know of them, but I don't know him. Yeah.
He was on our show a while back. He's a good dude.
Okay, gotcha. Yes, and it's pretty rare that I hear otherwise, right? And usually you don't hear the names that aren't good, except like when the camera's off and then you go, look, don't go to this guy, you know what I mean? So like everything you generally hear in the community is pretty darn good. People are pretty upfront, straightforward, and God, you just don't dare be anything otherwise because there's no longevity in it, right?
Right.
Like there's those shady guys floating around, but for a week
The
or
truth
two,
comes out.
Well,
yeah,
there's still a lot of the old heads floating around that are from the cutthroat era, if you will.
Yeah, they don't trust anybody.
No, they don't want to talk to you. And even if you're up there talking to them, asking about buying animals, they feel like they're I don't know, like they're feeding their competition or something. And I'm sorry, There are
Right.
so many of us out here. I mean,
That day's
There's no
gone.
reason to try and to look at anyone like competition, because then you're just going to be like running scared this whole time. And
I
Right,
just I
right.
feel like there's just no place for that mindset any longer. But
Yeah.
maybe that was a problem that they had in the early '90s with getting it all going. I don't
It
know.
it, it
I wish you could-
was, and you look at the disconnect back then, and how far apart those transactions and things really were. Like now, it's like 3 seconds from Greg. You bought a snake from me. Ken knows about it 5 minutes later, right?
Yeah,
Back then, it's like 4 weeks. Maybe Ken knows that. Maybe Ken knows that you got that snake. You know what I mean? So there was a lot more room for that BS to go on. And
I didn't want to
maybe.
interrupt earlier, but when Greg was saying that they was thinking about getting into the YouTube thing more because they want to document like what they're doing. That's the first reason why I started doing it. Because with me being a new breeder, I want to be able to be like, all right, look, go back to this episode, and you'll see the clutch, and you'll see the parents, and you'll see everything to do with that snake, and they could kind of follow it through. You kind of leave a selling point out there, that for sure this is what you're getting from this clutch. Because
Yep.
I mean, if you see that snake come out, and even if it's a year old, you could still recognize certain markings on that snake that's only specific to that snake.
Yeah. And it's that peace of mind to anybody that's ever seen anything you've done, right? So they already
Yeah.
have that image in their head that there's way more at risk than this one sale. There's an entire entity built around that where people go and watch you every week. Like you're not gonna slide off into the darkness, right? Like you could
Yeah.
years ago.
I'm gonna be right here, 9 o'clock Tuesdays.
Yeah,
Well, next
exactly.
week
That's
we're
huge.
starting at 9:30 because Justin from Animal House, they run a little bit past 9, so I'm gonna move back 9:30 just to give them guys a little bit extra time to finish their show, just as
Sure.
courtesy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how I am. I mean, I don't know. I'll do anything to try to please other people around me to keep myself going.
Well, and that's what's weird, Ken. We were just on with Gershon last night. We recorded the Next Up series with him. So
Yeah.
that's coming out, by the way, if anybody cares. But
Cool.
and I say that in our sense, not Gershon's, but coming out March 6th, and he's sat down and he's like, well, what do you guys got coming up? And we're like, we're not sure yet. We want to do lives. We want to get people on, but you look at the weekly schedule that's out there, like where do you jam yourself in without flopping over the top of somebody? Or you don't want to be that piece of canopy or canvas that's overhanging someone else's kind of limelight, right? Especially starting out.
Pre-record
It's a-
shows and run them during the daytime. Nobody's on during the daytime, and you will get views.
Right.
It's
People
hard.
will watch.
because T and I were just talking about it the other night. I really wish that maybe someone could come up with a centralized list of who is coming on at what times, because there are so many. We
I
sit
like
down and
lists.
who's got lives tonight? I don't know. Shit, I don't know.
Right. You turn it on and there's like 4 you didn't expect, and it's like, holy crap,
Yeah, and you miss one that you really want, because I mean, look at that yawn. The experience is not the same if you're not able to join in live in the chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
what does Jamie have for us? She brought Cloudy Butt.
My favorite.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you on solo.
Oh no, that's fine. This isn't for anything, but this is one of our favorite babies because he was from our very, very first year. So Cloud didn't do great out of the egg. He was one of those we had to assist feed for several weeks because he had no instinct or desire or anything else going on, and he's turned completely that yellow tone, gorgeous boy.
Yeah.
Super. I mean,
Value
he's like a
patron. Thanks for
puppy.
coming in.
But yeah, he's a 4-gene het clown boy.
Nice.
He's got all the kind of standard stuff.
Pastel, lesser.
Yep.
Vanilla?
Spot nose, pastel lesser spot nose, and we'll just show you this here. Maybe Ken, you can see that going.
Yellow belly?
Yep. Yeah, you
I
called him
said
out.
vanilla because its head's a little blushed out more than just a pastel.
Oh, you would if you'd have seen him when he was a baby, he was completely washed out. I mean, just some gray whispers where this pattern is now, you know. Could barely tell what he was. He was so washed out. But yeah, beautiful boy. He's Jamie's favorite baby. So going on
Nice.
2 now. But
That's
I
a
don't
nice
know.
size to him.
Yeah, he'll be here forever. He's just
Nice.
one of those pet guys. But,
Right?
So we have the female version of that as our one of our biggest breeders. She's a big 7-pound female, and we've really been crossing our fingers and hoping she was going to go this year. When we bought her, we thought that we were told that she could possibly be gravid. So we went into this whole ordeal with trying to get her, and man, we're talking about a shipping fiasco. We do much better. So a lot of breeders, they don't want to, or like Ship Your Reptiles, they don't want to ship to the home anymore because the people will just throw the boxes out. But we do much better because we're 30 miles from the closest hub.
All right.
So we went and we had this girl shipped to us. We were really worried about her because, you know, we thought she was gravid. He shipped her and we never saw her. We called the hub. They said, we don't have that snake here. And what had happened was there was a storm and the plane didn't go, and somehow she got put back on a rack and didn't get put on the plane. So it was just a nightmare. So it was actually, you know, 2.5 days before we got this snake out. Luckily, she was doing well. She was healthy. She was thirsty as she could be, but other than that, she did fairly well. But from that point on, we always try to get shipped to the house just to avoid that process. Because, you know, if we know that it's here, then we can tend to it immediately. Whereas if we're calling trying to find out if it's there and nobody knows where the animal is, that's just not a good situation for us.
yeah, for sure.
That I also won a snake from the Keys 2K giveaway. I won the Super Pastel, Het Clown, Het Sunset, and same thing. Like it got left in Indianapolis tonight, and it was cold out. Like, you know, I was really worried. But I mean, the snake came fine, but then, you know, they got it on the early flight to Moon, and then it missed a flight from Moon to State College, and it had to go on the truck. So instead of it getting here at 9 o'clock in the morning, it didn't get there until like 12. And it's just like those 3 hours, man. I was a wreck those 3 hours.
In their world, maybe that substitution is okay.
No, it's not.
We're talking about cold-blooded animals. That's not okay. I mean,
Yeah,
a long time. Yeah.
That's, you know, like we've got. I was just talking to Fred and AJ the other night about picking up a couple from them, and they're like, "Yeah," I said, "Listen, but you guys got to be okay with holding these things till at least the end of March. You know, maybe April, because."
Oh yeah, they will. No problem at all for them guys.
They're great. They're great couple of guys, and you know they're like, yeah, man, don't worry. But some people, you know, they want to get them out and get them out of the racks, and I understand that. But when the weather is the way it is, I mean, here, I mean, 8 o'clock in the morning, it'll be 60. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's 85. You know,
Right.
10 p.m. is back in the 40s. So it's like, what the hell?
The other day,
Yeah.
we've seen all 4 seasons in one day. It got up to like 65, you know, and then it was like the wind was blowing, and it got down to like, you know, 50, you know, 45, 50. Then it started snowing, and then the sun came back out and we warmed up to like 50 again. It was like, boy, Pennsylvania, you never know what you're going to get.
Yep.
No, you guys know it better than anybody. I mean, we've got the bay here, so you guys get the lake effect. up there, and the bay kind of does it here for us because it's like, hey, welcome to the shore. If you don't like the weather, give it 10 minutes, it'll change.
Right? Yeah. Good. I mean, we're not that bad because I'm a little ways away from Lake Erie, but we'll get a lake effect storm here and there.
Mm-hmm. My ex-wife, she's from Cambridge Springs, which is about 30 minutes outside of Erie, and
I know Cambridge Strings.
we'd go up to see her folks, man, and I've never seen snow like that. That was
Oh, that lake effect snow. I mean, it'll stack 5 feet on you. Like,
Oh yeah,
overnight.
overnight. Yep.
Overnight.
we went up and then we got there late one night, and it was, I don't know, like 1 a.m. And our daughter was young and she was sick, and we just kind of scurried her inside. It was right around Christmas one year, and yeah, I got up the next day at like 9 a.m. because she had gotten sick in her car seat, and I had to get out there and clean that up and take care of that. It was just too dark to do it that night.
Right.
And there was like 2-3 inches on the ground when we got there, and it was like 23 inches that morning when I got up. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, last night we got, I mean, they was calling for like an inch of snow and then like a 10th inch of ice. And luckily it just blew over us and we didn't get much. And by the morning it was melted.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was about to ask how it was out there because we've had it both sides. Like we'll get 1.5 feet of snow and then all of a sudden 38 degrees and rain, so it's all getting beat down and you got those puddles of water just blowing
yeah,
up
stuff
against
around
everything.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just a mess this winter.
We've had a relatively mild winter this year.
Yeah, I could say it's been mild though.
Yeah.
I mean, we had our cold days, but we haven't had the big snowstorm in probably like 3 to 4 years up here.
Well, and
It's coming.
usually when we have a mild winter like that, come March, we'll get smacked with a snowstorm that will put us under 6 or 8 inches.
Right.
I'm waiting
right.
for it. I'm waiting
But-
for it.
Well, I think
Or
we
get a
just
blizzard in April or something like that.
Yeah, I think that one that just went through was probably we may have dodged the bullet with that one. I don't know. We'll see.
So yeah, who's going to what shows this year?
Well,
I'm going to make it to the Tenley September show or October, whatever it is, the late Tenley one.
Okay, the fall, Tinley
Yeah.
Fall. We're gonna try and be there too, Ken.
Awesome.
Hopefully we can see you.
Yeah,
down
that'd be
there.
nice.
Awesome.
Hang out.
I think we're going to try to do Tinley in the fall as well. We were going to try to go this spring, but it's just not going to happen for us. And we are definitely doing Daytona.
Okay.
We had a blast there last year. I don't know if you guys make it down for that one, but
I heard Daytona was really big. The last one they had.
It
Keith,
was.
I think, was mentioning how good it was. Like he said,
Yeah.
it stepped up like several levels.
So apparently they had always had Tinley in just like the one area, and this time they opened up like an entire different room or different building. So it was twice the amount of space that they'd had previously.
Okay.
I can tell you, I was at the time
going, John?
I was suffering pretty badly with my arthritis, and my back and my knees would give me a couple good hours, and then I'd have to go sit down for a while. But it took me. It took 2 days for us to see everything. We went the first day, and we never got out of the first room. And then the second day, we went back, and we just went around the next room. So we had a blast there. We actually, TJ had talked to Emilio Villarino some before because he was wanting to get one of his animals. And we met Emilio there at the show with his wife and Kike Boza. I mean, he was there with us, man, and we met him there for the first time. Those guys were awesome, man. They just kind of took us in. They walked around the whole show with us. Kike introduced us to his friend Eliam with Cream de la Crutch. Or Cream de la Clutch. I can't talk.
Elaine. Yep.
We had a blast. We've been really fortunate that the Florida group that we have fallen in with, man, they've kind of taken us in with open arms. And we had a blast with them. As a matter of fact, Terrence Keys called or reached out to TJ just yesterday, and they do a honorary member of the Usual Suspects, you know, on the Friday night shows every month.
Yep.
He let her know that we're going to be the honorary suspects for this
Nice.
May or March. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're stoked about it, man. We're
Heck yeah.
it's very humbling, and I'm very honored that they would, you know, accept us. Man, we don't even have eggs on the ground yet, man. What the hell do we know to get up there?
Right. But
Um,
that's the thing that's awesome about all of this. It's like people just connect, and the connection is more than what are you physically doing, you know? So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's
Super
kind of
cool.
what he told her. He's like, you know, yeah, you guys kind of fit. You fit the group. So welcome
Perfect.
aboard. So, we're stoked. We're loving it.
Heck yeah.
Sophie. Oh, Sophie's talking to me down here. You guys got to see this thing.
You have a
What?
Sophie too, huh?
Oh yeah, come here. Come on. Come here. Oh, she's gonna be shy now. You can't be shy. There's a camera here.
Sure.
Look, can you see her? Oh, I suppose
Yeah.
we got all fuzzy, didn't we?
I mean,
Yeah, no.
I got fuzzy.
Here, can we? What happened to my camera?
Bosa, what's up, buddy?
But anyway, yeah, this one here is.
Yeah, that was weird.
Nope, it's not gonna focus on us. Sorry,
There it
guys.
is.
Hey,
There
she
it
is.
is.
She's pretty good.
Oh, she's a pretty girl.
She is.
Technology will be the death of us.
So this is the one that sits down there in the snake room and licks all our snakes.
Nice.
Can't take one out without it getting licked. She'll literally wait there until you put it down there and gives it a big lick. Like, what in the heck?
That's funny.
not right. But yeah, we put up a little a quick Instagram clip of her licking a snake because it's so weird. It was a last reaction I expected out of a dog and a snake, but worked fine. Nobody got hurt.
I tried to take a small video of a snake sitting on like just the back of my dog, and
Nope.
no,
No, not happening.
he was just like, "Get it off me!" And I got, "Get it off me!" Like, no,
Right?
he wasn't having it. I mean, the
Well,
snake was just in a ball. It wasn't trying to go nowhere, but no, it wasn't
Oh, yeah.
happening.
No,
Our
dogs
dog
don't
Ryder,
want nothing to do with it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I said our dog Ryder. He was curious about them, but and he used to let them kind of crawl around. We have the ottoman here beside the couch, and that's where they like to sit up close to TJ. So we just throw a blanket over, let them kind of have that ottoman. That's kind of their bed. But we'd let the snakes crawl around, and TJ's got a breeder female, Mojave, that she put up there. Well, she decided that she wanted to slither up between his legs one night, and that was the end of Ryder letting the snakes crawl on him. He was done with that from that point.
Got too close to my personal equipment there.
You touch my pickle, I'm out.
You don't touch the family jewels. I'm out of
That's
here.
Oh, Kike jumped in here. Hey, Kike.
You jumping on?
No, I just seen him jump in the chat.
Oh, he's
down
in
there.
here.
Saw it popped up.
Kike needs to get up on the panel here.
Yeah, for sure. Be good.
I'll put it back in there.
Get up here, Kike.
Come on.
Don't leave me up here by myself.
I must have to copy again. Copy link.
I'm trying to get Kike up on the panel with us.
Oh, I'm gonna stretch my legs. I will be right back, gentlemen.
Alrighty.
All right.
If anyone else wants to come on up, there's the link. My phone's down to 10%, so I don't know how much longer it's going to last.
I think mine is right there with you, but I do have a plug here somewhere.
I could go plug it in, but I'm getting tired anyway, so we'll just let it run out, see what happens.
All right. Patchy's curious here. You see the phone, buddy, huh? You see the phone? Yeah.
He looked like he wanted to be showed, but maybe not.
Yeah, he was.
I had a snake out the other night that got tangled. He tangled himself in my tripod. That was a son of a gun to get him out.
Yeah.
That's a 2,000-gram pied, and I was showing off the backside of him like this, not paying attention to where his head went, and his head went right around that tripod and out, and I'm like, oh my god, like it was.
We have a big Enchi breeder girl, and we learned very
Hi, what's
quickly.
up, buddy?
You
That's
do
my
not let
friend.
her get her neck
Oh my
in somewhere
God.
because she is so strong that, like, if she hooks her neck under the couch, forget it.
Nice snake.
Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't want to let go. He wrapped around that tripod, and I basically had to grab as far back as I could because he was maybe a quarter way through, and pull him through the rest of the way because he wasn't going back out through. I thought I was going to have a dilemma.
What kind of snake that is?
That he's got a bamboo pinstripe.
Bamboo pin. They call it a nitrous.
Nitrous. I didn't know it had a name.
Mm-hmm. I didn't either till after I had him, and I was looking some stuff up, and I found it. And I was like, oh, okay.
How was your show, Ken?
Oh, snug. I don't think I could have had it any better. It was great.
Yeah, I
Not
missed
sure.
it. What up? How are you, Morph John? How are you?
Not bad. How are you?
Doing great.
Good, good.
But yeah, Snug, it went really well. I actually feel like I got a new friend in Austin. We talked backstage for 5-10 minutes. He had to go, but that 5-minute chat we had backstage was just like the start of a friendship. Like that was awesome. And then he said that he marked the open dates that I had, and he's going to talk to Billy and see if Billy wants to come on. So I'm going to get Billy on the show in March sometime.
Yeah, 905.
Nice.
Sherry made my logo.
So that's just crazy. That's okay, Ashley. You can go back and watch the replay if you want. It's all good. It's a good one. I will recommend go back and watch this one if you go back and watch any.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
Yeah.
Austin was awesome tonight. I mean, you guys did really well there. Some of the questions caught him off guard. It wasn't like his standard interview questions.
Yo, Morph, quick question.
I don't do standard.
Do you do live stream too, Morph?
No, but we're gonna start. We just were on with Gershon, recorded with Gershon last night, and we need to start. Yeah, it'll be fun.
I'll subscribe to you because I like reptiles.
Good deal.
I'm going to give Snug a snake when I start producing. I'm giving him one.
Awesome. Okay.
It'll be my first snake.
He's only about an hour from me. I'm gonna deliver it right to his front door.
Have you kept before? I mean, have you had maybe?
I used to have a boa python.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Sounds good, Ken.
It was the size of a baseball.
Little tiny guy, just a baby, huh?
A big guy.
You said a baseball, or I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was the size of a baseball, like a I think a boa constrictor.
Oh, okay. You mean like big around?
Yeah.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's a thick snake. That's a pretty good thick snake. We're sticking with the ball pythons. I think we've looked at a lot of boas, we've looked at a lot of retics, things like that, and it's just bigger than I think we can keep in a decent manner. Maybe in a different scenario with a full facility or something, but we're gonna stay small. Maybe yeah, we did get a leopard gecko, Jamie back there. But yeah, the bigger snakes, I think we would need a different setup to be able to do that well. It's not that I don't like them. I just don't think we could. I don't think we could do it properly where we're at. So
Yeah, because I'm from Pennsylvania as well.
Okay, good deal.
I
Yeah,
really
but
wanted
since
to get
guys get into podcasting, like when you got a guest coming on, one of my secrets is what I do is I go back and watch their interviews that they've done recently. And if I have that question, already wrote down, it gets crossed off. I'm
Yep,
not going to
take
ask
note.
them something that was just asked a month ago.
Yep.
Yo,
Well,
Bosa, can you drop Morpheus Forge link in the chat?
Snug.
you wanna go out. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta let the dog out.
Good,
Yep,
dude.
you bet.
Come on, buddy. So we go out.
But yeah, I don't think it could have went any better. Like that, there was just that was good. I don't
Yeah.
know what else to say besides that was a good one.
Super comfortable, really relaxed. Exchange was really nice. Not a lot of dead air. I mean, you actually just talked about snakes, which felt good,
Yeah, it did. It just felt natural. It felt really natural, and it felt like I'd known Austin for years.
Yep.
And
I
that
think
was just really good.
he's super open that way, super down to earth. Every time I've seen him on anything, he's just gonna talk,
Yeah.
Good guest.
He was just like, I'm another breeder guy. That's all I am. You know what I mean? I'm just
Yeah.
another guy that does this. That's been
Yeah.
doing it for a very long time.
Oh, thank you, Kike. Dropped our
I
link.
was going to get into how he ran into Billy, like how that come into play. That was one question that I think Jeremy Warfels asked him about a month ago, so I took it off my list.
Dude, I kind of wanted to hear that too, because I've asked that of myself when he's on. I'm like, how did these guys ever connect? Like,
So
how did
Austin was into like reticulated and berms and stuff. And when Billy got into ball pythons, Austin came in and bought a ball python off of him, and they started talking, and he was doing some part-time work. And I guess Billy had another person working for him, and she
Okay.
wanted more hours, and he couldn't give it, so she left. So Austin took her hours, and then they blew up, and it turned into a full-time job.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean,
All
I'm
right,
sure
perfect.
there's a little bit more to it than that, but that's basically how he answered it.
Okay.
Go
Yeah, I
back and
was
watch
wondering.
Jeremy Warfel's last interview with him. And I mean, if you want to see word for word, but
Oh yeah, will do for sure. Because I've always been curious, like, how does that stumble into such a good relationship? And they seem to be like pre-made for each other, almost like relatives or something. You know what I mean? Seems like too good a fit.
just like
Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate it.
I've
just
been
like the
subscribed to
question
you.
that I asked him, like, do you keep not like track of the races? You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was a good question, and how he answered it, because he was like laughing about it. It was like, no,
Right.
we don't
No,
anymore,
I'm
because I
so
know I
far
win.
ahead.
I'm
Yeah.
so far ahead.
Yeah.
Like it just brought a little laughter in it, and I wanted that to kind of come in early and get him to start laughing, and then when people are laughing, they open up more.
Right, I
So
got
if you
that.
can
No,
get them to
100%.
laugh early, it's usually going to be a good show.
Yeah, absolutely. I caught that actual section, and I was actually between a couple other things when I popped in and said, "Hey, Ken, hey everybody." But I happened to catch that little 5-minute little window where you asked him that question. Dude, I was dying laughing because he
Yes,
was so
Billy and Austin
nonchalant.
seem father and son for sure.
They do, right? They do for sure. Oh, E-Reptile, yeah. Actually, funny story about that. Well, funny, but not funny. That was my son playing the saxophone on that background music. I lost my son last November in a motorcycle accident.
Dang.
So that's not great, obviously, but that was him playing saxophone. He is a good jazz musician. So one of those things Jamie threw on a silly video for the snake stuff, but yep.
Yo, Bosa, I appreciate you dropping my link as well.
Hey, Ashley.
I've been subscribed to you more.
Okay, appreciate it, Snug.
There's more Forge's information if you want to subscribe.
Yep. Thanks again, Kike. Appreciate that.
We are all good people.
The ambassador.
Yeah, for sure. He's a busy guy.
Yeah,
Super busy.
I told him I think he has a clone because there's no way he could do it himself.
I don't know how he gets all that stuff in there.
He's like the Flavor Flav of the snake industry, man. He
Right?
is.
Except for one big clock, he's got like 14 of them. He just keeps peeling away,
Right.
right? Like each clock is a new person on there. I don't know how
He's
the
got
heck.
one clock with rip away faces that change the clock face.
Right.
Yeah, the tearaway clock
Yep.
face. New info behind there.
You know,
It's
KJ
crazy.
might be the guy who could put together that list for us. Hint, hint, hint.
Oh,
You know,
for the weekly
For
schedule
who
list.
has what podcasts on what night? You know, so we
Right.
have one big list. I'm just saying.
I
And
was
that's
going to work on that, but I think Bosa could probably be more qualified at it.
I think I don't think I've been in a podcast yet
Where he wasn't there.
Aaron wasn't there.
right.
Right?
My question is,
My man was
who,
on
ha-
it.
who has the most snakes between you three?
Oh,
I'd probably say Morse Forge offhand because I only got 22. Greg and TJ have like what 44 or 42? You say?
We got like 45 of ours.
25.
yeah, we're. I don't even know if I should say. I kind of feel bad in a way. We're close.
knew
We're
you'd
like
had a bunch.
around. We're close to 90. So
I knew you had a bunch. So I mean, I'm not offended at all, not whatsoever. I mean, I just started in a year. Basically,
no,
I got 22, and 4 of them. The 4 more that's coming, they're half paid for right now, over half anyway.
no, I didn't mean in that way at all, Ken. I meant
Yeah,
like
it
we
was taken
shouldn't
away.
have 90. We should have like 60. You know, we got a lot of babies. We can't ship.
Yeah,
It's
when-
too cold.
When you said
know what I
90,
mean?
I was about to say, whoa, 90 snakes?
Yeah, a lot of babies in there. There's probably close to 30 babies that should go, but yep. Yeah, no, I didn't mean it that way, Ken. I'm sorry if it sounded that
It wasn't taking it way at all.
all right. Yeah, I felt bad because, like, God, we should be moving these babies, right? But it's too cold. So,
Well, it's that time of year. It happens. Like,
Well, it's
and
just all
another
ball
thing that
pythons
I'm
you
going
have?
to do. Go ahead, Snug.
It's just all ball pythons you have?
we just do ball python. Yep.
Another
Wow.
thing that I'm going to do is, like, say, winter hits and I have snakes, I'm going to like offer and advertise like a winter payment program. Like you take all winter to pay off a snake. Like I don't
Yep.
care if it's $100 snake and you want to send me $20 a month for 5 months through the winter. Hey, it's yours. Just keep the payments up.
Yep. No, I think that's fair. We considered that last fall. We actually, when we did our fall sale, one of our things was going to be like, hey, you buy rats through the winter, it's your snake. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, give us the upfront price. You want the snake, we'll keep it. We'll keep it healthy, obviously, and not give an exact number, but like buy its food through the winter and
Yeah.
we'll ship it in the spring. You know what I mean? Kind of just a weird promo where people will be like, what? Buy its rats? You know what I mean?
Well, you got to pay to feed it.
Yeah, not like the $6 matters, you know what I mean? But like just to get the kind of brain turning in a weird way where people read it and go, what the heck?
Oh yeah, well I got to spend that when I get it. So
Right.
yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah.
So we thought about it and then we went, God, that might seem hokey or whatever, but
No, I think that's a great idea, dude. I think you should roll with it.
yeah,
But I could be
Well-
wrong. I don't know.
we're spring now. So
Yeah, it's almost spring now, so next year.
right. Maybe.
Oh crap!
Uh-oh, Tammy and Jamie are laughing. That can't be good.
Hold on.
Get those two together.
There they are. He read my mind.
Nice, Kike. Appreciate it. Oh, nice Ultramel. What else is in there? Is it maybe Yellow Belly?
No, he's just Ultramel.
Okay, he looks really
Nice.
yellow.
He does, and he's gorgeous. And if I tell you how much we paid for him, you'll ask me if we had a gun in our hand when we did it.
You
Yeah,
can
we
pick
got
up a
our
male
boy
Ultramel
really
for around
reasonable.
$200-300.
I like the skin color of it.
That's
we
super
got
rare.
him fully grown. just as you see him here.
How much does the snake weigh?
He's what was
800
Lander's last
maybe?
weigh, bet?
He's close to 1,000, I bet.
He's close to 1,000. He's right at it. I want to say he
Wow.
was. I want to say he's like 950, something like that.
Oh, okay. Pretty boy.
He's a big boy,
Yeah.
and he will breed your shoelaces if you drop him on the floor.
You gotta love that though.
Yeah. Boy, we got one that just will not go, and I won't say even what's in him because I don't know how you guys feel about this, but we have our like little pet projects that
Right.
we don't talk about. Like it's genes that I have never seen paired, and I don't care to see them paired until we have them paired, kind of a deal.
Right.
I mean, maybe that's weird. Everybody's like, "Oh, I'll open this and open that," but there's some things I
Just
want
suit
to
your
do.
own.
Like, yeah,
Sure.
you know, I want to keep some things under blankets and stuff, and go, "Look at this," you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, but he just won't do his thing, and I just got to where, well, Jamie really nudged me more than me thinking, but she's like, should we probe him again just to be sure? Is he a male? Like, cause he just will not lock. I mean, we've done everything. Put the sheds in there. We put other males in there. Whatever. He's just not gonna do his thing. But
Go over and sub to Vern. Vern's a good dude over at 905. He's a supporter too. You see him around a lot too. Maybe not about as much as both of it. He's there.
oh yeah.
There we go. Trying to
Solo's she's a good supporter too.
Solo butterfly. I don't think I've seen that one before.
She's been around and she's in the reptile community. I mean, she don't have reptiles. I don't think she does anyways.
Oh, okay.
She's just a supporter. She's around the community and she supports pretty good.
Okay, awesome. Cool.
Just make sure that if she ever jumps up on live that you look at the picture because someone used her name and wienered me one night.
What?
They used Solo Butterfly's name and they went to come up on the panel, and when I let them into the room, they showed me their wiener. So I had to delete the live and everything else, but I mean,
I just can't.
I mean, I thought it was a funny joke, like, you know, but you can't broadcast that.
I'm absolutely dying over here. That can't be real.
I mean,
Oh my god.
and like I was like, what the hell? I'm sitting there trying to hit the buttons. I'm all frantic. It was up there for like 15 seconds. I mean,
my cheeks are killing me. I'm sorry. That is the best story I have ever heard. I gotta drop this back down.
Kurt Wood got wienered. I got wienered. Cole got wienered.
He did.
I mean, there was a bunch of us getting wienered all at the same time. And then he disappeared. I think they disappeared because I was like on it and be like, you know what? I'm going to start checking wieners and seeing who that was. And they stopped.
Like, Cole got wienered twice.
I'm not really going to be checking wieners at the reptile shows.
Oh God! What was the
I'm
movie?
gonna go ahead and skip Tinley. Oh,
Was it Porky's? Was that the movie? I know
If
that.
I want to go to the bathroom with you, you know what's up. You know I'm suspicious. You have the right body build.
Jesus. Oh.
See, that's just it. Like I will
that's
say,
so funny.
I don't care. I will say anything to get a laugh. Like I just don't care. Like criticize me to death if you want. Say what you will.
Yeah, they started using Luke's name first.
Oh.
At least I wasn't first.
I was gonna say, was it Juicy G? Did Juicy
No.
G sneak in here somehow?
No, it wasn't the same body type. at
Yeah.
all. The legs were they were chicken legs compared to Juicy G's legs.
Man, I'm sorry. I'd spit some beer out my nose. I barely
Cool.
could get
Cool.
Whew.
I'm sorry for
Okay.
making you do it, Nicole.
No, that was actually
Solo
hilarious.
was first, and it was Luke.
Solo butterfly. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that one. Maybe do a little
Well,
filter.
they haven't used her name since they got me.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
They used Luke's name too. Luke Friedel. If you
Friedel.
see him
Yep.
around, they
Yep,
used his name too.
The last time I saw Friedel was your cast when he's bopping around the Walmart hitting on his coworkers. That's the
Yeah,
last time
see,
I
like
saw Luke Friedel.
I thought I was the only one that noticed that.
No, it was pretty obvious.
I'm just the only one that called it out. I mean, his face turned like 10 shades of red.
Yep, he felt bad instantly. It's funny though, comical.
Yeah, well,
God sakes. Oh man. I'm sorry guys, I had to recollect myself after that whole wiener spiel. Oh, I was dying.
it's just not right. I mean, but it's funny. It was a good one. I'll give them that. They got
That's
me.
not a snake.
They got me good.
You're right, another snake.
So I'm kind of confused. What did they just grab like people's alias and they hopped in and like
Yeah, because
jumped
you can
on your
change your
stream?
name. They come into your room, see who's into your room, see
Yeah.
if you have an open chat. Then if you have an open chat, they go and change their name, come back in as that, then go to enter your room, and there you go, your wiener.
Gotcha. So they jumped on your actual link.
Yeah, because I put it in the chat.
Okay.
Wow.
So you didn't look down below before you added? You saw the
Well,
wiener
I was
down there and
new.
you just
I
said,
was
all right, come
new.
on up.
No, I was new, and they had the picture up. They even had the same picture as Solo. And then as soon as I let them in the live, it went from the picture to wiener.
Okay. I'm like, you got all these photos down below and you see the wiener and you go, yeah, I'm going to let that on my camera.
Okay,
Yeah,
they
I
said it
wouldn't
was.
have let it in if it was just a wiener. I mean, I'd have been like, what the hell? Someone's showing me their wiener in one of my live. They're not getting in.
Oh, that's
They
so
said it was.
good.
They said it was a short dude.
I'm just in tears. I'm sorry, man.
And then it
That
was
is so
funny because John was like, oh, Solo, you better check. And like, as soon as he said that, I'm like letting it in. And I sit back like this. I'm like, oh, it's a wiener. I'm up here with two fingers trying to push buttons. Like, fucked everything up. Like, I
on
kicked
your
him out,
phone.
but it took me like 15 seconds to do so.
On your phone.
Yep.
God, that's good. Oh, I'm
It
sorry.
was good.
Hope that don't happen to me.
I thought it was you, Snugs, at first because like we didn't see your picture and your face or anything, and like that guy had the exact same body build as I pictured your voice, and like I thought it was Snugs at first, but no, I don't think it's Snugs now.
Come here.
So,
Come on.
just getting back to the snakes real quick, because out of curiosity, I like to do little fucking feeling around and see what everybody's doing. Ken, what's your next clutch coming up, or when do you think it's coming up?
It's actually my first clutch. I don't even have eggs on the ground yet.
Oh, okay.
And it should be soon because I have like females that are. I mean, I don't have an ultrasound, but they are getting fatter and they're like bull wrapping, laying with their tail in, they're nesting.
Yeah.
Like I got all the signs, just no eggs yet.
Okay, so you're thinking like within the next couple months anyway, right?
Yeah, within the next couple months. And I should have my spot nose vanilla het clown went to the gravel het clown head ultramel. My black pastel bamboo ultramel also went to the gravel het clown head ultramel. He also went to a ivory het clown. She's gaining. What else is they're looking really good?
So you're looking at literally like 4 or 5 clutches already.
I've had 7 really good locks, and well, 8 now because I put Well, because I have this like 995 gram blackhead double het pied lab, and she went off food 2 weeks ago. So
Okay.
like I have like a 500 gram clown. He just went over it. Like I put him in with a female to see what he does, and he kept laying away from him. Well, I put him in with her, and them fuckers locked within 5 minutes. And I'm like,
Gotcha.
what to do? And I haven't pulled them out yet because I opened them today, and they're locked all day today. I don't know
Yeah,
if they
just
stayed
leave
locked.
them be. Yeah, they'll.
Yeah, so I'm just leaving them be. I mean, I didn't really want it to happen, but I mean, nature took course, and it's happening.
Yeah. Yep.
So blackhead het clown, I mean, and 50% pied lab, and I definitely could tell pie tracks if they have them, and I think I have a good albino marker that stands out in all my head albino stuff or lab albino. And if you look at the alien heads and they're all the way outlined in white, that's a head albino marker, at least in my snakes.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard that. I know you mentioned that. I think the last time I was on, actually, you pulled one of your girls out. I think it was a girl. And you were
Yeah.
like, oh, look at that. They almost touched on top of each alien head. They were
Yeah.
so far up.
Yeah, like it
Yeah, I
goes up
had not
way
heard of
high.
that. Yep.
Like even on some of them, I mean, if I go get them, I can't now. That both of them are locked up with males, or were. But
Gotcha.
like even some of them all the way connect. It's like all the way around it. Like not every one's that way, but you'll have a couple that's totally encased in white.
Sure. Okay. Well, it
not
very
heard
well
of
could be. I mean, I don't know.
It's just something I noticed from like just
I'm about to
looking
be
at
out.
what I have and
Yeah.
studying shit.
See you
Like I
guys.
do.
That's one I hadn't heard yet about the albinos.
I hadn't
See you
either.
again.
Greg,
That's
what do
just
you?
that's my assumption. Like that's nothing no one else is saying. That is something I noticed in my het labs. Every single one of them have it, and
Gotcha.
I mean, I don't see it anything else but my het labs.
I'm about to
Okay.
be out. Nice meeting you, John. Nice meeting you, Greg.
You
Yeah,
get
you
off
too,
snug.
Snug.
Yeah, Ken. I got live stream at 3:30 today.
All right, later, Snugs.
Later.
Thanks for coming up.
Yep.
Take
Take
care.
care, man. Greg, what's your plans look like? What do you have stuff paired up ready to go, or are you getting close to clutches?
We have 10 pairings that we've attempted. We've had 9 locks.
Well, that's really good. Okay.
Yeah, we've had good success with the locks. We have, God, let me go down the list. I've got the pastel, lesser yellow belly to Apache, my nitrous. Then we've got a fire head albino that we paired to. I've got a black pastel albino. And I'm really hoping. I mean, yeah, of course we want the albinos, but I'm really hoping to get a regular black pastel fire out of that. I think they call it black fire.
Yep.
Because that will come in huge for us later on. Let's see. We are Enchy heavy. I've got a Enchy het clown, and I just put her to a straight clown male that I have.
Enchy clowns are
several locks.
always
Yeah.
good.
It's in here, honey. I'm sorry, John. I didn't hear you.
Oh no, that's all right. I say Enchy clowns is always good. I mean, Enchy and clown is amazing, so
Yeah.
you can't go wrong there.
Breakers, I'm not sure. They shed and they nested, so maybe it was a pre-late shed. I mean, this is my first year. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm faking it until I make it, basically. I mean, they shed. They're getting fat. They're nested, and I guess a possibility it could be their pre-late shed, but I'm not totally sure. Solo said someone about.
Oh man,
It's
get out of
about
there.
this girl telling everyone she's effed a horse and was in a relationship with them. Okay, I mean everybody's got their prerogative. Maybe humans didn't have something big enough for her. I guess I don't know. Maybe she wants that horse. Yeah,
That's a big oof.
yeah.
We're
Maybe
just gonna
that's what
leave
she
that.
wants.
That's a big oof.
It's each your own. I mean,
Eh,
I know that I seen a donkey show one time, and it
Can
kind of made me feel
Can.
like I had nothing for them. I mean, that's all I'm gonna say. Like when they're strapped to that thing, riding the underneath of it, that thing's going in that far.
That's a red
I ain't got-
area.
I ain't got nothing for you. Nothing.
Jeez.
And that's all I'll say about that. Yeah, maybe it's getting too late. My brain's getting a little hazy.
It's getting out there. We're getting out there.
Yeah, my phone's down to like 4%, so we should probably end it soon, anyways, before I just disappear. Yeah,
Right.
wrong podcast. Like I said, my brain's a little foggy right now. Sorry.
That was the perfect Pac-Man die.
Right?
That was the Pac-Man death. I heard it. Yep.
Bum, 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 bum.
Dude,
All
something
right,
about that
chat.
Ultramel.
Thank you guys in the chat. Greg and John, you guys are awesome. Everyone go give them guys a sub. They're cool people. You just seen it here. I mean, if you're not following me, then stop coming in my room, creeper.
All right.
See y'all later.
Perfect. Peace out, guys.